604 Talk 107.3 FM. WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, off and running. Brian here with you, Breland producing, starting you off at 66 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge as we broadcast live from the 180 Pros studio. That's your IT provider, your IT partner. Learn more about the difference on that at 180pros.com. We're getting you set up for a busy Friday morning. We're inside the legislative session. We are looking at America 250, and that's just one of the segments. We got a lot of ground to cover. We're going to be talking with a former Navy SEAL. We've got Mason Leath from ABC News talking about the economy, with the effects of the war on the economy. We got a lot of ground to cover, and it's all going to culminate with barbecue bacon jalapeno sliders.
There's a lot going on right there, and
right there.
Sounds so good.
Barbecue
bacon
jalapeno sliders.
Ooh. And small sliders, they have the buttery bun. So add that on top.
I had even added that it was Smalls, who we already know and love. So
Ooh.
How about it? Let's go. Yeah, that's a lot to get to. So let's start it off with top stories and trending. Stupid. Number 5, where are we starting off at this morning? We are starting off with funeral arrangements are pending for Baton Rouge Police Lieutenant Duke Staples, who passed away during cancer treatment. Staples was hired at BRPD in August of '96, worked as an officer and supervisor in the Uniform Patrol Division in the 2nd District evening shift throughout his nearly 30-year career. BRPD said Staples passed away due to complications from a surgery related to his cancer. He is survived by his wife and sons. Taking you over to Iberville Parish, where one person was killed in a crash with a log truck along an Iberville Parish highway yesterday. This sources told our news partners at WBRZ a driver crashed head-on into a log truck along Highway 77 just north of Horseshoe Bend Road. Happened around 11:15 a.m. State police said a truck crossed the center line, struck the log truck head-on. The driver of the car that crossed the line died at the scene. Oh, my bad. I left one sentence out of there. The driver that passed in that accident was 22-year-old Colin Smith of Rosedale. All right. Number 3, Mayor Sid Edwards has completed the Bloomberg Harvard City Leadership Initiative, a 9-month program launched back in 2017 designed to equip mayors and senior municipal officials with the tools and expertise they need to solve problems efficiently, strengthen their city halls, and improve outcomes for their residents. Edwards was part of the program's 9th cohort, which included 46 other mayors from around the world. Unbelievable. That's a 9-month program. It felt like yesterday that thing got started. So I'm sure it didn't feel that way for him, but it felt like yesterday we were reporting on him getting into the program. An East Baton Rouge Parish constable was issued a summons for a misdemeanor in a hit-and-run crash that happened on Tuesday. Central Police said Constable Gordon Hutchinson hit a parked car while he was leaving the Walmart along Sullivan Road. This happened around 11 p.m. Tuesday. Louisiana's budget is headed to the Senate. The vote in the House was 104-0 to move it forward. This year's budget includes no tax increases and does pivot some dollars based off of newer, more accurate priorities. Scott Breland.
Well, Israel has agreed to stop striking targets in Lebanon for 10 days. It remains uncertain how Hezbollah will respond. Meanwhile, President Trump remains positive that the war in Iran is nearing completion.
So you know what's wrong with that whole, and I don't know why it took so long for me to piece this together, but Israel and Lebanon are looking at a ceasefire, but we're waiting on Hezbollah to respond. And that's what's wrong with all of these scenarios.
Oh my gosh.
Is you can make an agreement with the government, but if you've got a terror organization, what do they do? Sign off? They send people to the negotiating table? No, they're terrorists.
Right.
Listen, you can have a deal.
They're going to do what they do.
Right. You can have a deal between Israel and Lebanon all day long, and Lebanon can say, not us. It's them, not us.
You have a very good point. Holy cow.
The same is true between the U.S. and Iran. And that's what happens when you're dealing with people who are state sponsors of terrorism.
Man.
Oh, crazy.
Well, Tyler Robinson, the person accused of assassinating conservative activist Charlie Kirk, is due in federal court in Provo, Utah today.
Okay. Let's hope everything moves swimmingly so that all the conspiracy theorists can just shut up.
And they're still going. It's months later, and they're still going on.
Well, because it's months later.
Yeah.
Because part of it is there's no closure, but as this thing moves to the courtroom, the conspiracy theorists will pivot to say, yes, they're covering it up exactly the way they want to.
And I would expect Candace Owen to get louder.
Yeah,
all over social media.
Okay, she is exactly who I was talking about. 1,000%.
Yep. All right, people put a lot of weird stuff on ice cream, but crawfish? There's a shop in Houston that's daring locals to try it.
So it's more butter-based than crawfish-based. There are crawfish on top.
No.
But
nope.
Let me see if I found the recipe somewhere.
Ice cream and crawfish. Ooh.
By the way, poll question for the chat. The glorified crew over in the chat, which we're live on Facebook every single day, courtesy of Lake Urchin Care. What's the best post-crawfish dessert? Like, what do you crave after crawfish? Because I'm a 50-50 split between chocolate and ice cream. It's like we had crawfish out here yesterday, and they did. Oh, I forgot to tell you, you have a pint of Bluebell in the freezer.
Ooh.
Brookie a la mode.
Ooh.
Bluebell's new flavor is out. And by the way,
I've been dying to try it.
Yeah, Brent stopped by. Didn't bother telling us about it. He sent me an email, and I got to email him back. But the new the new flavor for the summer's here, Brookie a la mode.
Ooh.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait to try it.
I know.
Hide it so nobody eats our ice cream.
Well, it's got your name on it. There's a handful of them in there still, even after yesterday when we had our company crawfish boil. But one of them does have a sticker that says Breland on it. So
yes. Okay.
Oh, and you can thank not just Brent for Bluebell, but Miss Judy made sure that I had one with a sticker on it. You had one with a sticker on it. So yeah.
Love me, Miss Judy.
I made the mistake of opening the freezer in front of our president and CEO yesterday.
And he's probably like, hey, what is that?
His eyes got wide. Ooh. And yeah, Brookie a la mode. So let me get back on point, because Bluebell's awesome. And every year they find a new way to jam other desserts into a dessert.
Yep.
To just really ramp things up, to make sure that I will never be a skinny man. That's what they do at Bluebell. And they do it really, really well. So here's the follow-up question, or going back to the question, is what is the perfect after crawfish dessert? Because I always associate crawfish.
I don't eat it, so I don't know.
Well, yeah.
I don't eat crawfish, but I would almost say a cobbler or...
See, I can't do that. Like, a cobbler comes out hot unless you're doing it a la mode.
Okay.
Crawfish are super spicy, so I want that cold to go along. I want that cold and creamy to go along with it. I think ice cream might be perfect. But at the same time, though, mentally, I associate crawfish with Easter, which means you give me a good gold brick egg.
Oh.
Right?
Heavenly hash.
Heavenly hash would be in that same category.
Yeah, pecan bar. Yeah.
Well, I got to have chocolate in some form or fashion. A pecan bar I love, but there's no chocolate on it.
Yeah.
They're all three from Elmer's down there in Ponchatoula, though.
Going back to that story at that shop in Houston now, ice cream with crawfish.
Here we go.
No.
Yeah. They start with plain old vanilla ice cream. Then they add Cajun seasoning and tons of melted butter. Okay. It's more salty than fishy, but that's what the crawfish on top is for.
Ugh.
So they will add crawfish. So they start with I guess Tony's or Slap Your Mama or something. And then they'll add melted butter on top of that, which I guess butter's not going to stay melted when you add it to ice cream.
No, definitely not.
It's going to melt some of the ice cream, but it'll.
They would have to serve it to you immediately.
Right. And then they put the crawfish on top of that. This is
like whole mud bug, claw and all?
No. This is just the meat, the tail.
Oh, the tail. I thought homeboy was sticking out. Okay. They should, though. That'd be good decoration.
No, hang on. I stand corrected. You're right. They recommend two things: break off the head and use it like a spoon.
With the guts.
I know. And do not plan to kiss anyone afterward. Yeah, I can see that too.
All right, I'm nauseated now.
No, you lost me. It lost me with the butter.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it lost me with the.
It lost me with the crawfish because I don't eat it. But
the crawfish is probably the most appealing. The Cajun seasoning, no, because we don't dust our crawfish anyway. Houston.
Come on, Houston. If you're gonna do it right, do it right.
614 at Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. The good news here is you get all of those things at Mathern's.
How did I know you were about to go into
Didn't
that?
you know? Well, because you wrote down one of my
'Cause I
live
wrote it
reads.
down.
All right. Download the Mathern's Rewards app today. Earn cash towards more groceries every time you shop with Mathern's. And there's a new deal of the week every week over at Mathern's. When you open up the Rewards app, it's already fed to you. So when you're doing your grocery shopping, you can map out the deals that you're going to get or the savings you're going to accumulate every time you shop. For example, this week, talk about perfect for a crawfish boil. Food Club's 8-count mini corn on the cob, $1.99 right now. It's $1 off. I'm telling you about a $1 savings here. But when you go through the store and you start adding up all the $1 savings here, $1 savings there, like get $1.50 off any what is it, 24 pack of Springer Mountain. What is that? I can't see good. Oh, $1.50 off any one Springer Mountain Farms chicken product. The point of the story is when you download the Mathern's Rewards app, you can accumulate the savings. And then the bonus is when you hit the checkout line and they scan the little barcode, you're earning cash towards more groceries every time you shop. Download the Mathern's Rewards app today.
Oh, everybody's telling us their dessert.
Do what?
Let's see. Their desserts. Let's see. We got chocolate Sazerac, like a regular Sazerac, but with cream de cocoa and
Cacao.
chocolate bitters. Okay. Cheesecake goes with everything, Alan says. But
So, Alan, I respect it, but you're not from here. You got to get your butt down here, man.
I know.
We're waiting on the transfer. I know this. We're all living Alan's life right now, waiting on the transfer. I assure you that Golden Girls of an answer right there is going to pivot once you get here. We are a fat people.
We are a fat people.
We know our cheesecake. No, cheesecake is a respectable answer. That is a respectable answer.
That's almost too heavy for me after crawfish.
I understand, but like,
says the one who doesn't eat it. But somebody says ice cream. Got it. Peach cobbler. Okay, Ray. And then Mark Adams. I will be there this afternoon to give my brookie a la mode. Ooh, I can't wait.
Shout out Mark. I was hearing Mark the other night on Eagle. He's coming home. Where's it coming home from?
You sound so good, Mark.
Oh. But I do have to take issue with Brent because he brought in all pints, which he used to bring in half gallons. And I would bring home a half gallon and the kids would be super happy. So I brought home a pint and they're like, what are we going to do with this? I'm like, share, you little bastards.
What, you spoiled? Inflation, man. They got to downsize.
No, they don't. They're Bluebell. They can do what they want.
You're going to have a minute. That's all you're going to have.
Okay. Well, it'll spill over into the next segment. Ran long in the last segment right there, so we're going to split sports into two segments. Wait, this happens a lot around here. It's okay. It's all LSU today, though. We're going to go ahead and start off with, how about a shout-out for the gymnastics team coming back in dramatic fashion with some fantastic scores on the floor rotation, pushing them into second place overall at the NCAAs, which means they will be in the finals this coming weekend. So big shout-out to Coach Jay Clark and the whole gymnastics team. Their season is not over yet. Also, softball right here on Talk 107.3 FM. 6 p.m. tonight versus Ole Miss. Broadcast starts at 5:45. Patrick Wright will be on the call. May or may not have someone special thrown on the first pitch when you're playing Ole Miss. Quick break. We're going to check Fox Business Report. I'll check traffic. We'll be right back at it on Talk 107.3. You have that Lauren Ventrella thing from yesterday? Okay.
And if for whatever reason we get to
The JD Vance thing?
yeah, it's like the whole thing is 2 minutes and 52 seconds.
Well, I'm going to have you cut it off after he says I'm happy when the Pope challenges. Okay. But like I want the first part where he says you got to be careful with your theology, because that's where. And can you pause it in the middle, or does it start over? Yeah, rewind before that. No. I mean, like at the beginning of it, where he says when you're talking about theology, you have to be careful with the theology. Do you have that part? I thought it was before that. Okay, then go back in was it yesterday's folder? At where I sent JD. It was the 6th cut that I sent yesterday. All right. Yes, please. We're gonna go with that first. We're gonna go with Lauren Ventrella first, but. Yeah, that one. I kind of like is the second part. The second part should start with the first part is the audio that I sent you yesterday, just to make sure we have it 100% accurate. All right, let's head on back to the traffic center real quick. It's light start to your morning, actually. I'm not showing any delays on I-12 westbound coming in from Livingston Parish. Normally by this time, well, I should say normally Monday through Thursday. By this time, we have some congestion out there. Fridays do start a little bit sleepier, as it were. Now, once you get into Livingston Parish, there are slowdowns on Pete's Highway by Clearwater Road. So we're talking Denham Springs, south of the interstate, Pete's Highway by Clearwater Road. If you're heading southbound, it looks like there's some problems over there, though I don't know the root or nature of said problem, just that you will be slowed down a little bit. All of your interstate systems are looking good. 10 west, 10 east, 110 north and south, all moving smoothly to start off your morning. And here in Baton Rouge, we don't have any traffic accidents report on your surface streets. That's your look at traffic from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center. $6:23. Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. We are going to do something here that we don't normally do. We're going to revisit a segment that we started yesterday, but just straight up ran out of time. But I think it's worth revisiting because it's an important reminder that when you see things go down at the Capitol, we can be like personally removed from it. But everything that happens at the Capitol happens, and I'm talking about a state capitol. Everything that happens at the state capitol happens because people propose bills in order to affect change. We talk about money and we talk about power and we talk about hating the government, blah, 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 these things. But people file bills and try to push bills in order to affect change. They want to change the law. They want to make lives better for people out there. Sometimes, though, those bills and those attempts to affect change can be short-sighted, and sometimes that short-sightedness will appear as greed, will appear as a power grab, and that happened this week, and I just happened to have been there for it. I was out at the state capitol on Wednesday, taking in a little bit of the action over in the House. And see Denise Marcel, who represents a part of Baton Rouge. She's in District 61. She does not like the direction that BREC is headed. The streamlining, the efficiencies, making things run smoother. And one of the things that BREC is doing is they're selling off properties that are, or they will be attempting to sell off properties that are obsolete. It's a property that's a liability for the parish. When we pay our taxes, we pay for insurance, we pay for upkeep, we pay for all the things that on a place that just isn't used, it's obsolete. BREC's going through the process right now of finding where these obsolete parks are so that we can be relieved of that liability, relieved of that responsibility to where we don't have to pick up the tab for it anymore. See, Denise Marcel doesn't like this, so she proposed House Bill 444. House Bill 444 would have appointed the current representative of District 61 and senator from District 6 senator from District 15 to be a part of the BREC board. Who sits in the seat of District 61? She does. Who sits in 15? Well, after you're termed out in the House, oftentimes you run for Senate, and that's where she would be running next. So essentially, and she hasn't announced that she's running there next, but that's essentially where she would be headed next. So essentially, she's basically setting up a seat for herself. Well, she ran into a buzzsaw on Wednesday, and that buzzsaw's name was Lauren Ventrella. This is a little bit longer of a clip, but here's the full Q&A on hammering down on HB 444, putting District 61 on the BREC board.
Rep. Ventrella for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Is this the bill about the BREC board?
It is.
Rep. Marcel, I'm glad that I walked in at the perfect time to ask you about this bill. What is the reason for not including seats from any other district in Baton Rouge, or any other reps that have an interest or a position?
The premise behind this bill is to add the senator and the representative for which the main headquarters sits in, just like the Metropolitan Airport, where we have a state rep, I think it's Rep. Carpenter because it's in her district, and a senator that serves on that board as well. I followed the same path that they used.
Have you spoken with the city of Baton Rouge about this bill?
The city of Baton Rouge? Why would I speak to the city of Baton Rouge about it?
Because it's concerning a board that directly affects them.
Well, it directly affects my constituency. And so everybody knows that I filed the bill. No one reached out to me in opposition from the city. And I did meet with them on some other bills today. They didn't have a concern about this bill.
Okay, well, did you know that I've had some people reach out from the city regarding this bill?
No, ma'am, I did not.
Okay, and Rep. Marcel, do you think appointing yourself directly to a board, so if I'm understanding correctly, the bill specifically appoints you as a seat on the board, right?
It specifically appoints whoever is sitting in District 61. That could be me today and someone else tomorrow, just as the Metropolitan Airport does. It's the same premise. Representative Carpenter serves on it because it's in her district, and the senator for that district also serves on it.
Do you think that we should be in the business as representatives appointing ourselves to other boards ourselves?
I think that we're on a lot of boards in this building.
Do you have any other examples of times where we've appointed ourselves to other parish boards or municipal boards?
Well, I just gave you an example of the airport, and that's where they serve. They currently serve. I found it like that when I got here, and it is the same premise.
But they didn't directly appoint themselves to the boards, did they?
They have an appointment for their districts. It's the same thing. And they can either serve, I think Representative Carpenter serves herself, or they can put an appointment.
But the difference is the sitting representative did not appoint themselves to the board at that time, right? And also there are other...
whomever set up the board at that time, I would imagine that they were a senator and a representative when the board was created. I don't know that. I don't have that history on it, but I can tell you that there are other boards where we have appointments that we serve on.
So would you entertain an amendment that had all of the representatives from Baton Rouge fairly appointed to the board?
I think if you bring that bill, we'll hear that bill if you want to put yourself on the BREC board. But this bill is about me putting myself and the senator, and when I say myself, I mean District 61, because I only have 2 years left, but District 61 has an appointment and the Senate district for which the facility is housed. But if you bring that bill
we're out of time. I was hoping to get the whole thing in there. At least she's on it. She says this bill's about me. There's a myriad of differences here. There's a whole stack that we'll unpack on the back end. Here's news.
It's about me, she says.
Yeah. Y'all, Lauren went back for seconds. After the Q&A part, after the floor was open to questions, Lauren took to the microphone to speak in opposition of it. We don't have Lauren on the show enough. The windows of opportunity to get her on the show, there was a good run there where I would text her and she'd tell me no. So eventually I just stopped asking. And then I ran into her a couple weeks ago at a legislative function. And I was like, you were so overdue to come on the show. She's like, just text me. So I did. And she said yes. And now she needs to be like in the regular rotation because she represents Central. And we're going to get to, do you have Andy Stump in the April folder?
Do you want me to come back to you first?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on, can I trim that? Hold on.
What? That click?
Yeah.
No one's going to notice that. How long is the Andy Stump interview?
9.5 minutes.
Okay. By the way, they say nobody likes to see the sausage being made. I'll tell you, that's the old adage about politics and legislation. I don't know you, y'all. I think that was fire. I thought that last segment, I would rather listen to that all day long. I mean, we're not talking about people talking about each other behind their back on a panel show. That's face to face. That's Lauren and Denise going face to face, hammering it out together. I find that to be hella entertaining.
a great example of public service. She publicly revealed her willingness to serve her political ambition.
Right. That's exactly right. .636 Talk 107.3 FM and WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Former Navy SEAL Andy Stump has written a fantastic book about getting your life in order and tackling goals that are in front of you. We're going to get to Andy in just a minute. Mason Leath with ABC News is going to join us at 6:50. We're going to be talking about the effects of the war in Iran on the economy. But before we moved on, I wanted to put a button on that last segment as you were listening to State Reps Lauren Ventrella and C. Denise Marcel just going at it back and forth in a Q&A on the House floor on Wednesday about C. Denise Marcel wanting to add herself to the Breck board. And she said at one point during the Q&A, it's about adding the representative from District 61 and Senate District 15. Well, but that's her. She's District 61. And then towards the end of the Q&A, she did say, no, this is all about me. She says, if you want to add other members to the board, put your own bill in. This one's about me. And by the way, when she got 2 more years as a representative, and then she's going to have to find another gig, and more than likely that next gig, nothing's been announced. I'm not putting her in the race yet, but more than likely, once you're termed out in the House, you run for state Senate. So she's not just setting herself up to hold the seat for 2 years. She would hold it if she were elected. I know there's a lot of ifs in that equation, but it's not just about today. It's about tomorrow and the days beyond. Now, Denise Marcel's defense there was that there's another board where the sitting representative and sitting senator, state representative and state senator are on that board at the Baton Rouge Metropolitan Airport. Huge difference for 2 main reasons. Number one, there's only one airport. The airport only exists in one district. Breck exists in all districts. And number two, the airport derives more than 2/3 of its income from operating revenue. Breck is taxpayer revenue. Taxpayer funded, I should say. So 2 huge differences on that front. Just wanted to put, by the way, I'm not saying that Denise Marcel was doing anything nefarious in setting this up. I believe in my heart of hearts that in her heart of hearts, she saw something she didn't like, and she saw an avenue where she could affect change. And the perception that she missed out on, she was a little bit myopic here. She didn't see the whole chessboard. The perception was going to be that it was a power grab because it looked like nothing but. But I believe in my heart of hearts, she wanted to affect change. So I just want to put those buttons on that topic. By the way, it doesn't matter what she meant in her heart of hearts. Perception's reality. All right. Got the chance to talk with former Navy SEAL Andy Stump. This is a pre-recorded segment, so hit it. They say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I would add to that, only if you know how to use it. Well, we got kind of a guidebook for that now. Former Navy SEAL Team 6 member Andy Stump wrote the book Drown Proof, 8 life lessons to keep your head above water. He's on with us now. Andy, how are you, sir?
I am doing well today, Brian. How are you?
I'm doing very well as well. Got to tell you, when I saw the title of the book, there was an immediate disconnect saying, what can I in my life learn from a Navy SEAL Team 6 member? We're talking completely different circumstances in life, but I got to tell you, so much applies. So let's talk about it, a little bit about the book. Actually, before we get into the book, what made you want to put pen to paper here?
Oh, man, that's a long story in and of itself. I actually got tricked into writing this book, and I'll save people the full story of that for some other time.
Mm-hmm.
But the main reason that I chose to finally go forward after a very good friend of mine legitimately tricked me into doing this, it was a culmination of a bunch of conversations and questions that people have asked me since I've been out of the military. And they'll ask about my experience or the lessons learned or the way that they taught and trained and refined us while I was in service. And they will say, well, that sounds amazing. And those experiences are probably unbelievable. And I'm never going to be able to have them or to be able to use those tools.
Yes.
And I sat with that for a little bit, and I realized that everything that I just described did, in fact, shape the trajectory and course of my life. But if I'm the only person that benefits from that, and I don't do anything with that to try to enhance other people's lives, I think I've wasted it. So the book itself is my best attempt to take those 17 years and, more than anything, one, convert from military language and terminology and vernacular into something that everybody can understand, but create a foundation and a framework that can deliver a set of tools that you can throw at and attack whatever it is that's going on in your life, both personally and professionally, with the goal of trying to just help as many people as possible. That's where the idea from the book came from.
Andy Stump is with us, the author of Drown Proof, 8 Life Lessons to Keep Your Head Above Water. All right, let's dive in on the book a little bit, if we could. For those that are unfamiliar, just give us the brief synopsis of what it's all about.
Well, it's titled 8 Life Lessons to Keep Your Head Above Water. I wish I could say that there were only 8. There's probably 50 that would apply. I tried to pick the 8 ones that were the most valuable and impactful in my life, and give an example of where they came from, where I learned it, how it was applied in a military setting, and then digestibly switch it over to how people can apply it in their own life. This is everything from how you set and approach your goals to for entrepreneurs or even people in their personal life that have large goals and aspirations, how you should set and conduct an after-action review so you can actually determine how your plan is working against the obstacles that the real world is giving you. Communication, chunking your goals, making things into be digestible pieces and small steps instead of getting lost in this journey from how far you are away from the goal that you actually have. It's a combination of all of those things. As many tools as I could encapsulate in one book and still try to keep the reader as opposed to losing them by putting 30 in there.
So you talk about the incremental parts of reaching goals. How important is self-honesty and a self-audit along the way?
Well, if you want to be successful, I would say very important. However, the honesty part of that, right? The honest self-assessment is really difficult. Especially if you live in this social media world where you think that everybody else is being successful because they're putting up curated photos of their life and success. And it's all these people on mountaintops showing you how good they're doing. And in your real life, your personal life, you're like, man, I don't have anything to post about right now. And I really seem to have found myself in this valley. You can find yourself in this really dangerous place. That artificial world, I get it. It's the marketing world, and a lot of people have businesses that are associated and tied with that stuff. But if you really want to be successful, you have to take an objective and reflective look inward on the things that you can control versus the things that you can't. You have no control over the things that happen to you in your life, but you have absolute, complete, and total control on how you respond to them. And that is where you need to spend the vast majority of your effort.
And along with that self-honesty, how important is it to not just be a critic, but your own cheerleader?
That, to me, is way more difficult, cheerleading, as opposed to being critical. I think I have a doctorate in negative self-talk. I'm not even going to say on this radio station the things that I greet myself with in the morning when I'm brushing my teeth. It's a fascinating exercise in negative self-talk. You have to be able to celebrate your successes as well. A lot of the time for me, at least in my own life, I have a hard time celebrating them in the moment. I can appreciate them when I'm a little bit farther along in the calendar, because I can look backwards outside of the pressure cooker environment, perhaps, or the stress that might be in the moment. But you have to take the time to do that as well. And that can help you when your motivation wanes a little bit. When it ebbs and flows like the tide, you can look back and be like, you know what? I am proud of that. And I am proud of, something else. And it's like, okay, let's take another step. How did I get to those things? You know what? It wasn't all rainbows and gumdrops falling out of the sky. It was a lot of hard work. It was a lot of hard work in environments where I feel like I'm in right now. So let's find that space again. And let's get back to a place where when I look back from now, I'll be proud of what I've done and what I've accomplished.
Talk with Andy Stump about his book, Drown Proof, 8 Life Lessons to Keep Your Head Above Water. You're talking about that controlling the controllables. There's only so much that's within your control. How do you dovetail that with, taking control of your own destiny?
Well, if you think about it, and this is one of the exercises I have in the book, it's the circle of influence versus the circle of concern, which is not my creation, by the way. Concern is literally that. What are you spending your time, energy, and effort worrying about? And for me, if you draw a vertical line down a piece of paper, the left-hand side will be the concern side. And this is everything. And if you give me enough time, I could write hundreds of things on that side that I am concerned about. On the other side is the influence side, or another way you could think of that is, what do you actually have control over? And on that side of the paper, the reality is this: the only thing you have control over is yourself, the way that you talk to yourself, the way that you can control your emotions, or you manage your emotions as they pass through your actions, your speech. You have so little control over things that will happen to you in life, but total and absolute control and how you respond to them, which ties into your question: how do people take control of their own destiny? You focus the lion's share of your effort on that right-hand side of the column, things that you actually have influence over.
Don't want to spoil too much of the book, but I do want you to walk down the path of why do people actually fail?
So shortest answer I'll give you is this: they get frustrated and overwhelmed because they spend their time focusing. They have a goal and they know where they are in relationship to that goal. And all they can see is the distance between the two. Get out of that headspace, set massive goals, but then, so that's your macro level, where you are versus where you want to be. Set a macro goal that scares you to death, but then you need to live in the micro so you don't get overwhelmed. You'll lift your head up every once in a while to make sure that the compass is still pointed in the right direction. But most of your time is going to be spent on the next step that needs to be taken. And the reason that you do that is it becomes more digestible. You're less likely to get frustrated. You're less likely to become overwhelmed. And therefore, you are less likely to give up or quit on your goal.
I noticed a lot of parallels between your style, your approach, and if I'm reading like from a great football coach or something, there's a lot that crosses over here and applies everywhere in life. If you could just elaborate a little bit on how to grasp the crossover, if you will.
The crossover between the military life and, civilian life, or the tie-in between sports. Yeah, almost everything in life can be learned through organized team sports. Communication, interpersonal skills, all of those things. You need other people in your life to learn these lessons. You need to go out and you need to push your comfort zone individually, personally, professionally, and in a team setting to really learn these lessons. Do you need to go into the military to do these things? Absolutely not. And that's why I wrote this book. Most of the lessons that I learned in my military career, I was introduced to at first playing team sports when I was younger. Now, obviously, a different end state and a different environment, right? Nobody's hopefully shooting at you in those organized activities. But then they were reinforced over a career, but they weren't new, reinforced, not recreated. And I think that's really important for people to understand. I don't want everybody to go into the military to have to learn these things. And that's why I wrote the book. Hopefully they can just take those lessons that I learned and apply them in their life.
It is phenomenal stuff from start to finish. Andy Stump, author of Drown Proof, 8 Life Lessons to Keep Your Head Above Water. Thank you so much for a couple minutes this morning.
Thank you, Brian, for having me on.
We literally just had a crawfish report.
I know a crawfish report, like the whole thing, price and all.
I got okay. Yeah. I got ABC's business and economics reporter on hold, and we're running the dadgum crawfish report. Jeez,
I thought I'm like, wait.
No, that's why, because it sounded like a newscast, but like it was clearly Avery. Oh shit! Because that's how farm reports go. They're up before the sun. They don't want to wake anybody with them.
Instead of having LRN, a crawfish report. People who are listening are probably going, what the fuck?
I know. .652 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along, diving right back in. I want to get every minute I can with my next guest, Mason Leath. Mason is the ABC News' business and economics reporter. Joins us right now. How are you, sir?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you this morning, Brian?
Doing very well. Appreciate your patience waiting through the. We were running a little bit long this morning, so thank you for holding as long as you had to right there. Want to start off with we're talking about the effects of the war on America's economy. Give me the quick overview.
Exactly. So since the conflict began, American consumers, we have been absorbing the shock in real time. Energy costs have been surging, global oil markets have been fluctuating, and everything from shipping to food production has been disrupted coming from the Gulf region.
Mm-hmm.
But the good thing is now is that we have a ceasefire in place, and that matters. If this ceasefire holds, economists expect that hopefully a lot of the financial pressure that we have been feeling domestically will ease. And oil markets in general tend to stabilize when geopolitical risk recedes, and that translates into lower prices at the gas station, hopefully within weeks. But the key word here is if. The ceasefire is not a peace deal, and if fighting resumes, then all bets are off.
Oh, we're going to get to that if in just a minute. But before that, I want to touch on, we here in Louisiana are in a bit of a different place because when oil prices go up, it's actually good for our state. It's not good for our personal pocketbooks, but it's good for our state because, we're an oil producing state. So on that front, are we in a place in Louisiana where, we might see the benefits of both sides of this?
No, absolutely. And that's a really great point to make is that, one of, I guess, the kind of interesting things about this conflict is it's very speculative and it's hard to predict what could happen in the future. But like you're saying, Louisiana could be positioned in a good space where they could see both sides of the conflict. And I think it's wonderful that Louisiana is an oil producing state because, the effects then of the oil markets tend to, even though they are global, are going to affect, your state a little bit less, which will be nice for consumers, Louisianan consumers.
All right, let's get to that if. There's a huge difference between a ceasefire and an end to the war. And if we've learned anything over time, it's that word if is the dirtiest word there is on Wall Street. So what would be the difference on the economy between the current ceasefire and an all-out end to this war?
Right. So that's a great question. So like you were saying, the key word here is if. This ceasefire is not a peace deal. Right. Right now with the ceasefire, what we are starting to see is that it's providing a bit of short-term relief. Is that prices are slowly starting to come back down. And one thing that I think is really important to highlight is that gas prices, the adage says they go up like a rocket and come down like a feather. So they're starting to come down like a feather right now. We're in that phase. And if the ceasefire holds, and if it's elongated, the big difference is that all these gas prices and the other effects that we're feeling in our pocketbook are going to gradually start easing over the next few weeks. But if the ceasefire doesn't hold, and both sides so far have violated the ceasefire, if fighting resumes next week, then, you know, things could be very negative. Oil could spike again. Inflation could reaccelerate. You know, there's a few things that could happen that are negative for our economy.
Oh, and you know, the economic impacts are based almost completely off of consistency, right? So as we go to put our toe back in the water, the ceasefire holds, we put our toe back in the water. The ceasefire holds, we take another step into the water. The ceasefire holds, we take another step into the water, and then before you know it, we're fully in the water, and Jaws eats the Kittner boys. So, like, sorry, I'm a Jaws reference guy, but like, what's it going to take to get cross that threshold? Because I know our president likes to keep everything on the table as far as options are concerned, and options aren't good for economic security.
No, absolutely. And that's a really important point, is that President Trump, historically speaking, has loved to keep all the options on the table.
And that's not a knock on him, by the way. That's straight from The Art of the Deal. That's his book that he wrote. We understand he likes to keep his opponents guessing.
Exactly. And sometimes guessing can be good in a geopolitical sense, but it can also be bad, you know, and sometimes when there is uncertainty, it can, you know, in terms of global like oil markets, when there's any sort of uncertainty, prices tend to go up just because, you know, people are unsure of what could happen and there's a scarcity. So, you know, but hopefully like what we will see is that, you know, this moment, anytime there's a threat to supply, you know, traders bid, you know, prices, and they can go up really soon, you know, overnight. But when things calm down, which we're seeing right now, hopefully, is that companies tend to lower prices gradually. So as this kind of higher cost oil inventory is kind of bought up, then hopefully, you know, American consumers will start to feel the benefit of, you know, the slowdown of this conflict.
All right. So last one before you. We got Mason Leath from ABC News. There's the business and economics reporter. Last one for you. And that is about this being an election year. Heading into the year, affordability was the buzzword. If you want to pivot that buzzword to existential threat with the nuclear Iran, that's fine. But we are in an election year. If prices go up like a rocket, down like a feather, which they do, what would be timelining this out to make sure that affordability gets back into the equation before Americans go to the polls?
No, and Brian, that's such an important point. I'm really glad you brought that up. I call it the A word. Affordability. You know, it's on the tip of everyone's tongue in politics right now, because at the end of the day, when people go to vote, historically speaking, typically they vote off of their pocketbooks and how they are personally being affected in the country. So right now, what most economists have been telling me is that it is going to take a few weeks. It could be 3 weeks, it could be 8 weeks, it could be 12 weeks. It's kind of hard to tell right now because there is this very tenuous piece in the Middle East with this ceasefire, and people are not sure about how strong this ceasefire is and how, you know, how safe things are going to be. But like you said, I mean, any sort of, you know, uncertainty causing prices to rise typically, you know, does not bode well for the party in power. So it'll definitely be very interesting to see how, you know, polling and, you know, when people go to the polls, how it does affect, you know, the national political landscape.
He is Mason Leath with ABC News. I appreciate a couple minutes this morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. I don't know. To me, it feels right now, it feels like the, what was that insurance commercial with the fisherman? Oh, you almost had it. He had the dollar bill on the fishing line and you yank it away. That's where I feel like we are right now. I'm not saying that Iran isn't a priority. I'm just saying it's not the priority we were promised heading into this year. All right. But like you said, there is still time. Before we hit the news at the top of the hour, I want to remind you about Landmark Bank. LandmarkBankLA.com is the website. LandmarkBankLA.com. This is America's 250th anniversary, and we're going to talk about that with Mike Bayham, State Representative Bayham, coming up at 7:15. I bring up it's America's 250th birthday because Landmark Bank was founded in 1897. That's more than half of America's lifespan. Founded as a community bank in 1897, they remain a community bank in 2026. That is an unbelievable commitment to community. So regardless of the community you're in, if you've got a Landmark Bank there, you want a banker, someone to work with you. Learn more at LandmarkBankLA.com.
morning. He was just laying in his crate. He wasn't moving or nothing. He was moving, but he's just very lethargic. Are you sure? I'm just making sure he's all right.
Booking.com has all kinds of stays. For those who
Yeah.
want family resorts.
Yeah, maybe he is depressed.
For those who
Okay, let me let you. I know. I was just worried about Chase. Let me let you go.
now a check on your drive.
Sorry, I thought my dog died this morning. I'm like, hello. I like lift up his paw. I'm like, Scott's like, no, he moved. He was just sleeping.
Okay.
I'm like, damn. Scott's like, everybody's sleeping this morning. The twins didn't want to get up. Come on, lazy bones, y'all get up.
Next week's Love the Boot Week.
Huh?
Next week is Love the Boot Week.
I thought that passed.
Same. I think we've had like 3 Love the Boot weeks. We have more Love the Boot weeks than we have Truck Month.
I know. And then we have more restaurant weeks, it feels like.
No, we're down to 2. We're down to 2. It's that.
Is there another organization that does theirs too?
Yeah. But
That's what it is.
as far as the official one's concerned, we have 2.
Okay. Because every time I turn around, I'm like, it's restaurant week again.
I'm all about that, though.
Huh?
I said I'm all about that, though, because that means discounts and special dishes and.
And then you can get an appetizer, a meal, and a dessert.
Right.
Decent price.
Right.
Sometimes they'll even throw a cocktail in there.
Yeah. .705 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Hour 2 coming your way right now. Hey, Bree Lynn, before we get into this hour, our
Yo.
good buddy Rocco texted me during the interview with
Ooh.
Mason. He says Jaws eat the who?
Jaws eat the who?
Eat the Kittner boy. So when we had Mason Leath on, I said, when you're talking about getting comfortable with the economy during a ceasefire, you put a toe in the water, then you step another foot in the water, you take another step in the water, and then before you know it, the Kittner boy gets eaten. I thought that was a universal reference. I might be wrong. But like the scene from Jaws, when Alex Kittner goes out in the water,
and when you brought
Mom,
it up,
can I go? You're pruning. 10 more minutes. And then the shark eats him.
Right.
Yeah.
You noticed Mason didn't even come back. He was.
No,
I think it went right
that
over
flew
his
right
head.
by him. I know. I got to prepare people for the shark alligator rule.
Always.
I really need to. By the way,
and your Sopranos references.
Also true. But there's 2 different bills in the state legislature right now working towards having recreational alligator hunting.
Ooh.
I know.
You're for it, right?
Are you kidding me? I'm looking to hunt down the guy from Wildlife and Fisheries to give him a permanent spot on the show.
Right.
Let's go. Shark alligator every day.
And about this time of the year, we just should have O-Surge ready to go. Because you notice like all the stories now. I sent you one this morning.
If you want to replace something in trending with that one, I'm totally cool with it.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. Top stories in trending. Let's go. So stupid. LSU gymnastics keeps their eyes on a championship alive as they survive and advance in session 1 of the NCAA semifinals. Grabbing this one from our news partners over at WBRZ for the verbiage. The Tigers scored a 197.4375. 0.4375 to punch their ticket to the national championship, which means they will be back at it, I believe, this is tomorrow evening when it's going to be for all the marbles. Funeral arrangements are pending for Baton Rouge Police Lieutenant Duke Staples, who passed away during cancer treatment. Staples was hired at BRPD back in August of 96, worked as an officer and supervisor in the Uniform Patrol Division and the 2nd District evening shift throughout his nearly 30-year career. BRPD said Staples passed away due to complications from a surgery related to his cancer. He is survived by his wife and sons. Mayor President Sid Edwards has completed the Bloomberg Harvard City Leadership Initiative, a 9-month program launched back in 2017 designed to equip mayors and senior municipal officials with the tools and expertise they need to solve problems effectively, strengthen their city halls, and improve outcomes for their residents. Edwards was part of the program's 9th cohort. Man, I remember when he signed up for this. That felt like yesterday. So that was a quick 9 months. An East Baton Rouge Parish constable was issued a summons for a misdemeanor in a hit-and-run crash that happened on Tuesday, around 11 p.m. Tuesday night, actually. Central Police said Constable Gordon Hutchinson hit a parked car while he was leaving the Walmart along Sullivan Road. Louisiana's budget is headed to the full Senate. The vote in the House was 104-0 to move it forward. This year's $47 billion budget includes no tax increases. It does pivot some dollars based off of newer, more accurate priorities.
Israel has agreed to stop striking targets in Lebanon for 10 days. It remains uncertain how Hezbollah will respond. Meanwhile, President Trump remains positive that the war in Iran is nearing completion.
See, it's that level of uncertainty that we talked with Mason Leath about. That's exactly what we're talking about, is if Israel and Lebanon have a deal and the U.S. and Iran have a deal, and then Hezbollah comes in like the Joker from, the whammy. The whammy from Press Your Luck, right? Oh, it's a 10-day ceasefire. It's and then the 10-day ceasefire stretches into 2 weeks, and 2 weeks rolls over to a third, and then
right. I mean, if you're waiting on a deal with a terrorist, terrorists are going to do what they're going to do.
Right.
It's just
right.
Yeah.
And by the way, to the person who was, it was a DM, so I probably shouldn't even address it on the air.
Well,
but I was not correct. I was not critiquing Donald Trump when I said chaos has to be part of the order.
Mm-hmm.
This is directly from his book. Like, anybody who didn't read The Art of the Deal,
it's a really good book.
I know, it's a fantastic book. I mean, he's the one that talks about chaos. He's the one that talks about a good compromise leaves a good compromise leaves everyone a little bit pissed off. Like, he is a negotiator and he will always push the envelope. But a pushing of the envelope leads to uncertainty. Uncertainty leads to a scared Wall Street. A scared Wall Street leads to a lowering of consumer confidence as well. So it can be a plus or a minus. I wasn't taking a shot. I was just stating his fact. Right.
All right. Tyler Robinson, the person accused of assassinating conservative activist Charlie Kirk, is due in federal court in Provo, Utah today.
I'm sure that's gonna satisfy Candace Owens.
Oh, I'm
or
waiting.
Tucker Carlson or whoever else is on the train to say that this is, a worldwide conspiracy. There's a cabal out there. There's the Illuminati killed Charlie Kirk. Like,
oh no, remember Erica Kirk killed Charlie Kirk, according to Candace. I know. Anyways, I know.
I can't with her. She was so good for so long.
I loved her. I loved
her. So good for so
long.
And then just flush it all.
I know. All right. So we're going to evoke the shark alligator rule this morning, throwing out one of those trending with this one.
Okay.
So the O Search shark tracker is lighting up like fire right now because a large number of great whites are moving along the U.S. East Coast and into the Gulf of America at the same time. Let's go.
The story leads off with a pinging of a 1,400-pound,
yes. So
13-foot, 1-inch long shark named Goodall.
Yep. So we got a couple. We got Goodall, 13 feet long, nearly 1,400 pounds, recently pinged off Florida's Gulf Coast. We have Contender, the largest male great white ever tagged by OSearch.
That one's out in the Atlantic, though, right?
Yeah,
Contender was off Georgia.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then we have other sharks like our
Ernst.
beloved Ernst,
Love
Ripple,
Ernst.
and KO.
I don't know Ernst yet. I mean, I don't know Ripple yet.
Yep, Ripple and they're in the article. Ripple and KO.
I see them, but I hadn't heard about them
also
yet.
showing up in the same region.
I'm slacking.
This isn't random. It's seasonal migration, but let's go. OSearch is probably like beep, 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 beep.
Well, I mean, and now's the time when people start heading to the Gulf. I mean, between Easter, spring break, and then graduation trips, and then it's summertime. And, you know, it's 1 minute you're like on the beach at the Floribama, and the next minute you're, you know,
in the hospital with no
staring
legs.
eye to eye with Ernst.
Yep.
That's
no legs. We're going to the beach in July. We're going to Miramar. And so I'm hoping I don't stand toe to toe with Contender.
Miramar in California?
No, Florida. It's over there on Destin. The same strip. Sandestin, Miramar, Destin. Yep.
I've only been to Sandestin once.
It's beautiful, but I hope I don't have to look at it.
I wasn't sober much. It was a bachelor's trip.
You gotta be. You gotta be sober to enjoy it, Brian.
I understand. OSearch tracked Ripple from his tagging point in Mahone Bay.
Yep.
All the way
Ripple
to Florida, around Florida to New Orleans. Mahone Bay, which is going to give another thing you got to know my references on, is the Curse of Oak Island.
Oh, come on, Brian.
Mahone Bay
I can barely keep up with all your references.
I get it. But Rick and Marty Lagina would have it otherwise, looking for the treasure. That's Mahone Bay.
Okay.
It's
I've heard of Mahone Bay.
It's right there off the coast of Canada, or right at the coast of Canada. So we're running long. It's 7:14. Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. We're going to talk America 250 in a little bit with Mike Bayham. Before we break, though, got to remind you about the folks at the Baton Rouge Metro Airport. FlyBTR.com. FlyBTR.com is the website. If you are looking to make your travel plans for summertime, if you're making that graduation trip, if you're looking for summertime, if you are looking for football season when LSU goes to Ole Miss, you want to be in that number? Well, there's flights that'll get you to Memphis for sure at flybtr.com. Don't forget, I tell you every day about the flight to DC. Leaves out the 6 o'clock hour every morning, comes home same evening. You don't even need a hotel reservation to make sure you're taken care of in our nation's capital. Get your business done same day. Come back same night. Learn more at flybtr.com. Flybtr.com. Quick break. State Representative Mike Bayham is next. How long's the break?
3 minutes.
Cool. I'm gonna run downstairs real quick to see if I see my wife.
Oh, she's here?
She's dropping my phone. My watch didn't charge.
Oh. Coming back to you.
Yep.
I can go get it from her. Just tell me when she's here.
I'm telling her to toss in the pine straw. The flower beds down there?
I'll go grab it. All right,
Okay.
just tell me.
717 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Been a busy 6 weeks in already out of the state capitol. We're going to check in with State Representative Mike Bayham from Chalmette. We'll talk about the Capitol a little bit, but we're welcoming Mike back on to talk more about America 250 on the front end. Representative Bayham, how are you, sir?
Doing fine, Brian. How are you this morning?
I am doing very well on this morning. America 250, we know there's going to be a series of events all year long. We've already seen a few of them. We know that the documents from the Louisiana Purchase already on display at the old state capitol. I mean, there's going to be a lot coming at us from a number of different directions, but you've got one event in particular you want to talk about this morning.
Well, there are two I really would like to talk about this morning, both happening tomorrow. First, in Iberia Parish at the Spanish Festival, we will be doing the official America 250 Louisiana poster unveiling at 11:30 a.m. at the Spanish Festival. And this is a magnificent poster created by a Lake Charles artist, Candace Alexander. And she has put together something that captures both America and Louisiana kind of in a fun way, not something that's, overly I guess historic, but captures the essence of our state and America. And it was really, she did a wonderful job. The symbolism in it is really attractive, and I think it's going to be a very popular collectible print. And it's not going to be too expensive. I think it's going to be about $50, but it's going to be really attractive. So we do that. We do the unveiling at 11:30.
This is 11:30 tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, at the Spanish Festival, which is an affiliated event with the America 250. They sought that affiliation early on, and it really highlights the role Spain played in helping America win the revolution, something a lot of people associate with France. And the French certainly were major contributors to helping us achieve our independence.
Oh, yeah.
But people forget about Spain. And for Louisiana, that's very important because it was Spain that had Louisiana during the revolution and had actually fought the British across our state. So that Spanish connection is something that we really want to emphasize with the America 250. Now, that evening in Luling, in St. Charles Parish, there will be the Louisiana Philharmonic Orchestra will perform a patriotic concert, and it will be narrated by Mark Romig, who is the voice of the Saints. And they will be doing historic readings in between performances. And it's a great family event. The tickets are only $25, which are both affordable and symbolic because this is the America 250.
Mm-hmm.
And this is going to be at the Lafon Performing Arts Center, right on the opposite side of the Hillbogs Bridge. And if you're looking for a family event that really embodies the spirit of the United States and patriotism, we encourage you to definitely go there. You could buy the tickets online with the Lafont Center. And this is going to be a great partnership between the Louisiana Philharmonic Orchestra, St. Charles Parish government, who's done a wonderful job putting this event together.
Mm-hmm.
And this is really something folks should consider doing tomorrow night.
The Louisiana Philharmonic Orchestra's got some game. I've seen them play before. It is an impressive show. I haven't seen them do a patriotic show before yet, but I do know that I can speak on their behalf. They've got some game.
Well, look, they've performed at the Lafont Center before, and which is a fantastic facility, and it's something with this celebration. We wanted to highlight that because the America 250 is going to be a statewide celebration. This is not going to just be New Orleans and Baton Rouge.
Right.
And this is our way of trying to spread the celebration across the state. The Spanish Festival with the poster unveiling in Iberia, and the Salute to America in St. Charles Parish.
We got State Representative Mike Bayham on with us, talking about a couple of the America 250 events that are going to be going on this weekend. And Mike, I'm glad you emphasized the Spanish influence on Louisiana specifically here. I mean, we most of us know the French Quarter is full of Spanish architecture. It's just, but it kind of gets overlooked when you look at the influence of the people today versus the influence of the people at the time. What the role that Spain played the whole way through. Poster unveiling tomorrow at 11:30 out at New Iberia at the New Iberia Spanish Festival. And then what time does the concert start again?
7:30 p.m. Tomorrow night.
7:30 p.m. tomorrow night over in St. Charles Parish. While we got you, Mike, do you mind spending a couple minutes to talk about the legislative session?
Absolutely. This is going to be a really busy week. This is where we're getting to the heart of the session. We just did the money bills yesterday, the capital outlay, appropriations, but a lot of what they did, the way they managed the session was to put a lot of the easy bills, like the LSU College World Series championship license plate.
Yeah.
That'll, those bills are started on the front end to fly through, but we're getting into the meatier subjects right now. And I know that I've got a bunch of stuff going through the floor and the House committee this week. The gubernatorial lifetime term limit is going to be on the floor.
That's where I wanted to start. Yes. Tell me about it.
Yeah. Well, that's going to bring us in line with what we do for the United States. For president, you're limited to 2 terms for a lifetime. I believe we need to do this in Louisiana, not only because it's good policy, but I do believe that this goes after our political culture, which has not done us a whole lot of favors, and I think has hindered us in terms of economic development. People have wanted to invest in Louisiana, but the political culture here kind of scared folks away. And whenever I travel and meet with elected officials across the country or business leaders outside the country, unfortunately, they always bring up the corruption of Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
And to the degree we kind of celebrate it, unfortunately, it's part of our identity. And I think this amendment would help give us a little bit more separations in that, look, we're beyond the personality cult era of politics in this state. And to be brutally honest, we need to have a fresh perspective in the governor's mansion.
Yes.
Rather than recycling old politicians and old policies. And one of the things that people really don't think about is when you are a former 2-term governor and you're looking to get back into the mansion, well, an essential part of that is hoping that person that's there after you fails. And that's not good for anybody. And sometimes we've had governors that have helped ensure the failure of their successors just so they can get back in. And this is something that a dynamic I think we need to correct. If this bill passes the legislature, it'll go on the November ballot, so the people will be the ultimate arbitrators on this. But the impact term limits has had on the state has been profound.
Yeah.
And I think that is what really has put us on a path to prosperity and greater opportunities in the state, and certainly change and reform. But I think this is a missing piece that we really do need to tackle.
I couldn't agree more, Mike. And the hard part for you, though, is selling this bill while remembering that it doesn't matter who the current governor is, or for that matter, reminding us who the previous governor was. We are in a governor-heavy state. The governor swings a lot of influence in this state. So, and we've seen in the past where you can have a quote-unquote lame duck governor, but if he can threaten individual district funding, not just this year, but say, I'm going to get you 5 years from now, too, there's never really a lame duck time where the legislature's power and the governor's power are on the same level.
Well, the shadow of a former governor can eclipse the leadership of a current governor.
Right.
And that happened under Train.
Mm-hmm.
That had happened under Omer. And let's be brutally honest. I think if a certain Cajun governor back in the 70s would have had only 2 terms, I think the state would have been better off. And I know he would have been better off towards the end of his life.
Well,
so
yeah,
I just think this is something that we need to tackle. Other states have it. So Mississippi has it, Arkansas has it, and there's no reason for us not to make this change. And unfortunately, it's necessary here because we've had all of these governors that have tried to get back into the game, and it's blocked other candidates from wanting to run.
Yeah.
Most people don't realize this, but Kathleen Blanco ran for governor in 1991. You don't remember it because she had to drop out. Why? She couldn't get past Edwin Edwards, no matter what she did. And, let's look at that 1991 election. How different would it have been had Edwin not been on the ballot? I think that race would have been completely different. And I think Louisiana could have avoided a very, unfortunately, embarrassing moment.
Well, not just that, Mike, but think about the ripple effect here. If you rewind the clock back 14 years to put Blanco in office then, Blanco's not in office during Hurricane Katrina, and how differently could that disaster have been handled if there was someone different at the helm at the time?
Well, I think
that's a ripple effect there, man.
Yeah, it is. And timing's everything. I mean, sometimes it works in your favor, sometimes it doesn't. But, we've got that bill. Let's see some of the other bills I have. I'm hoping at some point we can get the animal cruelty felony registry through committee. We're still waiting to get a committee hearing on that.
Mm-hmm.
That is a bill I'm very passionate about.
What's the holdup on that one? I mean, is this behind closed doors things that it's not getting prioritized, or is it just waiting its turn?
I filed it early, and I don't understand why it hasn't had a hearing by now. I'm hoping that we will get that hearing. I'm very concerned that it was one of the first bills I filed.
Yeah,
and it just hasn't been brought up for hearing yet. So I'm hoping we get something on that soon. I believe it'll be a popular measure and it'll fly through. I have another bill increasing the penalties for church burnings.
Yep.
Just saw in Caldwell Parish, the only Catholic church there was burned to the ground. Back in 25 years ago, Louisiana had not Louisiana, but the country experienced a bunch of church burnings. And Louisiana never did make adjustments like other states did to increase the penalties. I think in this era where, unfortunately, people of faith are being attacked, we need to ratchet up these penalties.
I couldn't agree more, but we got to get you back on for a summation of these because we're just right out of time for today. Let's get you back on in the next week or two.
Looking forward to it, Brian. Thanks
Always.
for having me.
State Representative Mike Bayham. 11:30 tomorrow in New Iberia at the Spanish Festival for the poster, and then 7:30 p.m. in St. Charles Parish for the concert. Here's news. Brian Haldane. State Capitol. We're going to check in with State Representative Mike Bayham. We'll talk about the Capitol a little bit, but we're welcoming Mike back on to talk more about America 250 on the front end. Representative today. Let's get you back on the next week too. Look forward to it, Brian. Always. State Representative Mike Bayham. Mike Bayham.
We're a month away from the May 16th primary election, and the U.S. Senate Republican primary will continue to heat up with the three major candidates having millions of dollars to spend. Political strategists.
talk on the second reading. Yes, ma'am. Good morning. We're going to come to you. We're looking at 2.5 minutes to 3 right now. Yes, ma'am. Weird. National Cheese Ball Day.
Oh.
They have the most random, like, it's National Blah 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 Day.
Not that I know of. Yeah, I didn't know what you were talking about earlier when you said that.
There we go.
Okay.
We do. It's a. When I say cold, ain't gonna be cold. But
No, it's not gonna be cold. I know we got rain coming. I don't think it's.
it'll be Saturday night, Sunday morning. So when I'm at
Oh, great.
Club, I'm probably gonna feel
When I'm
better.
driving back from DJing a wedding in north of Covington, north of Abita.
Oh Lord.
Gross. 1 o'clock in the morning. .736 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Thanks again to Mike Bayham for hopping on board. We're getting to Kelly Schultz from New Orleans and Company in exactly 60 seconds. Need to remind you about 180 Pros, 180pros.com is the website. 330-2200 is the phone number. I love giving you the phone number because I get to tell you the area code. It's 225. It's right here in Baton Rouge. Look, when you have 180 Pros, you don't have an IT provider, you have an IT partner. And it's important when you have a partner that you have a local partner. You have a relationship. And we know long distance relationships, they don't really work. I mean, if your if your network is down, do you really want someone driving in from Lafayette or points beyond, be stuck on the Atchafalaya while you can't get business done? 180 Pros right there on Sherwood Forest. Give them a call. Talk to them about where they're at when it comes to building out and maintaining your network, making sure you stay up and running, how they measure their success off of your success. Talk to them a little bit about cybersecurity. They're completely on the forefront. If you want to read about it on your own, you just go to 180pros.com. But I'd call and talk to someone. 225-330-2200 for 180 Pros. All right, time to visit with Kelly Schultz from New Orleans and Company on the hotline with us right now. Kelly, how was the rodeo?
Hey, Brian, the rodeo was awesome. In fact, they announced that they want to come back to New Orleans next year, which we're really excited about.
Yeah, I saw that, and it looked like attendance was super duper strong on the front end. To be sure, everybody got a taste, as it was.
They did. You know, we were so excited to host the Hondo Rodeo Fest. It was the first time that they came to New Orleans, and they really did draw big crowds. And this was a rodeo, and that's always amazing to be part of. But it was also big name concerts, 3 nights in a row. They had Jason Aldean and Cody Johnson and Creed and a bunch of other artists, Leonard Skinner. Like, they really did these big headline shows along with the rodeo, and they had a big event, like a family fest in Champion Square. So it was a great weekend around the Caesars Superdome.
Which I heard the Champion Square Festival was every bit as popular as everything going on inside.
It was, yeah, it absolutely was. It was packed with people, and, you know, it was fun. Everyone was out there in their cowboy hats and their boots, and, you know, we're taking pictures, and we're just really excited to be there. So it was just another, a big event for us, a first-time event, and we were really happy that, you know, the next day that their CEO was saying, we're ready to come back to New Orleans. So we're happy to do that, and we're working and looking for dates already for next year.
Okay, so that brings us up to, does this happen often? I mean, just a blowout event like this in a Superdome, I can't imagine that it's every day that New Orleans and Company just kind of falls into this level of success. We knew it was going to be good. There was no way to know it was going to be this good.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big event, but it is not luck. It's not an accident. It takes a lot of work, a lot of planning. We've worked with this organization for years, and so has the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation. Governor Landry was very involved in this particular project as well. So it definitely is a team effort and takes a lot of work, and with all of our groups, you know, I mean, whether it's a rodeo or a big convention or working on a destination wedding or a Super Bowl or anything, it really does, you know, take a lot of work and planning and thought and figuring out how we're going to stand out from all those competitor cities out there, getting the groups here, showing them a good time, and then getting them to return.
And the return part is, I mean, that's where, you know, legends are launched right there. I got to tell you, one of the big things that I was looking at, and I know there's been like monster truck shows and stuff, but hauling in, what was it, 17 inches deep on the dirt?
Yes, it was some crazy amount of dirt they had to bring into the floor of the Superdome. And it's really incredible how that building can transform itself. I mean, you know, earlier this year, speaking of big, great events, we hosted Rockin' 1000, which was, I think you and I talked about that, the first ever time in the U.S. to host 1,000 musicians on the floor of the Caesars Superdome. And they came from all over the world and performed rock music together. Now you had, you know, thousands of pounds of dirt on the floor for a rodeo, and they're going to, you know, transform the building again for Essence Fest. They did Savannah Bananas a couple of months ago. So it's really remarkable. We're so lucky to have that venue here. It's so iconic. It's so historic. And the folks there really, really know how to put on the best show, whatever that may be.
Talk with Kelly Schultz from New Orleans and Company. And yeah, we had Jason on from the Hondo Rodeo Fest. They did a heck of a job promoting up here to make sure they were drawn in from, you know, all over Louisiana and points beyond. But you know, I couldn't help but harp on the dirt because, like you said, concerts in the Dome. Yeah, Rockin' 1000 was a huge deal, but we've seen concerts in the Dome before. Savannah Bananas, yes, they're a big deal, but I remember the Winn-Dixie Showdown like it was yesterday, you know? But this was one that when you combine concert plus rodeo, you're opening up a whole new chapter, and it was really, really awesome.
Yeah, and I want to say too, they also did a really meaningful community impact. So Hondo Rodeo Fest delivered 35,000 pounds of ground beef to food banks, not only in New Orleans but all over the state of Louisiana. So they have a program with Feeding Louisiana and the Love One Louisiana Foundation. So again, not only did they have a huge economic impact in the city, people had a great time. It drew visitors from all over the place, but they really did give back and help every single parish feed people in need.
I didn't even know about that part of it. That makes it even cooler.
Yeah, it's
So
very
good.
cool. A lot of our groups we appreciate when they say we want to do something to leave a legacy in the community or partner in some way with a food bank or a local school, or we actually have people on our team that's what they do full time, is connecting groups with local organizations that want to give back in some way. So for example, when we had the American College of Cardiology convention here, they had a big health fair and were able to help local residents. So that's another, we call it, corporate social responsibility. It's a nice thing that we see in our business.
Very good stuff. I'm going to pivot here, talk with Kelly Schultz from New Orleans and Company. How's the Crescent City Classic this year?
It was awesome. It's sold out. It was its 47th year. They had 20,000 people hit the streets. That it's very much of a tradition here, the weekend of Easter. It's always the day before Easter Sunday. It's a big success. They also had a full day of a health and fitness expo that was held at the Hyatt Regency. And again, speaking of charity and giving back, the Crescent City Classic also does something called the Run for It charity program. So they raised $1 million for local nonprofits.
Wow.
And, I love this event because they call it the only second line with the finish line. So, of course, you see the, hardcore marathon runners out there, but you also see people walking, you see families. I mean, it's really a tradition for Easter weekend for many locals. And it did draw crowds to the city. I mean, between that and all of the Easter parades and festivities, we saw another strong weekend, which is continuing what we've seen this spring.
The thing about the Crescent City, well, you mentioned marathon runners. It's a 10K, so it's a little bit shorter, but the route itself, you get a taste of everything in New Orleans, from the CBD to the quarter, and then all the way up to City Park.
Exactly. Yeah, you start on Poydras Street, you go through the quarter, down Esplanade, and then it finishes with the giant event in City Park, which, we always talk about City Park as something that many visitors aren't aware that we have this incredible treasure right here in New Orleans. And I think City Park is even larger than Central Park in New York. I mean, it's such an unbelievable facility that we have right here. And so it's nice that this big event gives everyone a chance to end the race at City Park and enjoy that area.
So what's on tap? What's coming up?
Well, we've got, starting today is day 2 of French Quarter Fest. So, we everything kicked off yesterday at French Quarter Fest. So this event is really unbelievable. I mean, over the 4 days, yesterday through Sunday, they have 302 musical performances. Most of those are New Orleans and Louisiana artists. They have 20 musical stages, and they have over 70 food vendors. So this festival is really spectacular. It is a free festival. Yesterday, people were lined up with their chairs waiting to get to Jackson Square and get their place in front of the stage. And they have a couple of new things this year, including a 5K run. Speaking of runs, yesterday they had the French Quarter Fest 5K run, which was presented by LCMC Health. And they've also got a new part of the festival at the new Waldenburg Gold Ring Riverfront Park, which has just opened. This is the first major event there. And so really just a beautiful, beautiful weather. A lot of people are out there. And again, we've spent a lot of time working to market this event and make sure the visitors are coming in big numbers.
Well, here's the thing, though, Kelly. Kelly Schultz from New Orleans and Company is our guest. It used to be the French Quarter Fest was kind of for the locals before everybody rolled into town for Jazz Fest. But now, if I'm looking at this right, we're seeing occupancy numbers in hotels for this coming weekend in the mid-90s, 90% range.
That's right. I mean, yes, it is very much for locals, but that does not mean that it is also not a big visitor draw. And so we survey the hotels downtown and in the French Quarter area. And for every single night of the festival, the numbers are coming in higher than they were for the French Quarter Fest last year. So tonight, 93% occupancy. Tomorrow night, 94% occupancy, and that compares to 89% and 92% for the same nights of the festival last year. So the festival was a week earlier last year, but strong numbers. And again, we've got a lot of people in town for the festival, but a lot of that occupancy is also from group business. So one of the meetings we're hosting in the city this weekend is the American Collegiate Registrars and Admissions Officers organization. And so they'll be here for their convention, and hopefully they'll get out and enjoy French Quarter Fest too.
Very nice. And of course, next week, and I know we're going to run out of time here, but next week, it's both Jazz Fest kicks off next weekend and Zurich Classic going on all week.
That's right. I mean, it is nonstop activity. Zurich is a longtime partner, the PGA here in New Orleans. We appreciate them so much. We've also got Wednesdays at the Square that are happening during the week, which happens at Lafayette Square. That is running weekly through May. And then coming up after that, we can talk later about how we're going to celebrate National Travel and Tourism Week, which is the first week in May, and really highlight what this industry means, not only to New Orleans, but to Baton Rouge and the entire state.
Awesome. And mixed in with that conversation, we could talk about a few of the events that'll be coming up in May as well, because I know for a fact that I will be at the Convention Center mid-May as it's transformed into 1 million basketball courts. So in the meanwhile, she is Kelly Schultz with New Orleans & Company. Already looking forward to the next visit. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Brian. The time goes too fast.
Yes, it does. Yeah, I know it does. Too much. We are at 7:49 at Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Need a moment to remind you about NeuroJust. If you or someone you know is battling with anxiety or depression and has been treatment resistant, meaning you don't like the way you feel on the antidepressants, the prescription drugs, which, now there's prescriptions to activate the other prescriptions, the drugs on top of drugs. If that's wearing you down, you're seeing diminished returns, or there's other side effects, give TMS therapy a look. Transcranial magnetic stimulation. Now, if the antidepressants are working for you, by all means, if it's working, stay with it. The folks at NeuroJust will tell you they just want to find a path to where those 6-foot waves that are chopping around in your head all the time, the fight or flight that is anxiety and depression, they just want to see those seas get calmed. Learn more at neurojust.com. Yeah, May, was it 15th, 16th, and 17th? The Convention Center will be an AAU basketball tournament. Ernest. Yes. Ernest Morial. Not Ernst Memorial. Ernest Morial. Yeah.
I'm thinking Ernest.
Yeah.
The damn shark.
Well, in the cafe that's 2 blocks from the Convention Center.
That's what I'm thinking of, 'cause I've been there before. Contender. Down up. I should have been like, coming in at 1,400 pounds.
Ow, damn it. I think I slept on my wrist wrong.
You sure you don't have carpal tunnel?
I might, because this has been an ongoing thing for like over a week now. I know.
Be careful, because you'll eventually get bone on bone, and that shit hurts.
Monique's not coming in. She's gonna be on the hotline instead, which she's running for Congress in the 6th. We should probably have an Election Central page.
Kind of like how we have legislative.
Yeah.
I need to go back and pull all of our interviews and then house it on.
It's really, because Rick Edmonds, Mike Eccles, who'd we have for the 6th the other day? You don't write them down right now. We'll worry about them after the show. Don't worry about them right now. But anybody running in the 5th, 6th, the Senate race, when we have candidate interviews, not Like, we'll talk with Senator Cassie about being the senator, but like, when we talk about the race itself, it pivots.
But then sometimes, well, I would just do both, legislative and election.
Yeah, she's gonna be on hold for about 10 minutes. Let her know.
Hey, Monique. So we have one more segment to get to before
And a newscast.
And a newscast. So we're gonna probably be about a good 10 minutes. Do you want to go ahead and call us back at 8 minutes? Okay. Yep. Yes, ma'am. I don't want to leave you on hold. That's why. Okay. Okay. Bye. She's gonna call us back.
Cool.
It was a sold out show last night for Dan Show and Leah Long. It was a good show. I wanted to go, but it was so sold out that me and Chip was reaching back out to Ellen and saying, whatever winner is adamant they're not coming, can we have that back? Because sponsors want to buy.
Wow.
It was that sold out, which is great. That's great for Dan Show.
Yeah, but at a certain point, just give it and move it over to the River Center. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's got to be at the mansion. I understand that, but like,
but if it's that big, Manship presents, but it's at the River Center, you know?
right.
And put it in the theater. And then you can have one of those rooms upstairs for like the Mansour's dinner. And yeah, you can spruce it up.
I've got so many emails to clear out. $7:55 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. We have got a stacked up 8 o'clock hour, y'all. Monique Appeaning is running for Congress in the 6th district. Leah Long from NFIB going to check in on the legislative session, and then the folks from Small Slider stopping by. Barbecue bacon jalapeno sliders.
Oh, that's gonna be good.
I know. So that means we got to do this day in history now.
All right, on the week of morbid, more news. I mean, today's kind of light comparatively, but let's go all the way back into time. 1951, Mickey Mantle made his MLB debut. My father still talks about this man.
Awesome.
Legendary.
I used to have a Mickey Mantle baseball card. Did not have his 1952 tops. No, not that one. It was 1961 was the one I had, which was the year that he and Roger Maris were battling.
I've heard that name
Maris
before too.
set the home run record that year, but Mantle was right behind him in the number of home runs. But the reason Maris got the record, Mantle didn't, as I understood it, because my dad was a Yankees fan, so he's explained it to me. Was they batted 3 and 4 in the lineup. So if you walk Mantle to get the Maris had more opportunities to hit the ball out the yard. So cool.
So cool. In 1961, the Bay of Pigs invasion began. Cuban exiles backed by the U.S. A failed attempt to overthrow Fidel Castro.
Yeah.
In 1970, Apollo 13 splashed down safely on Earth after the near disaster in space. The famous line, Houston, we've had a problem, became famous during this mission.
Yeah.
And the crew made it back home.
Yeah.
In 1972, Elton John released Rocket Man. In the U.S., one of his signature songs.
Uh-huh.
In the year 2011, Game of Thrones debuted on HBO.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I tried to get into. I tried, Brian.
I had
can't
trouble with
get
a
into
period
it.
piece when like if I can watch a movie that's set in a place and time, but to dial in and dial out of like time and fantasy like every single week. But it was, I mean, it burned the world down. Everybody loved Game of Thrones.
The fact that they had 18 million storylines and they kept going back and forth, I'm like, I'm out. I think I watched to episode 2. Yeah.
So I only caught like 3 episodes total.
Okay.
But
so
one of them was like all sex and violence.
Yes.
It just,
and that was another thing. I'm like, I don't want to watch this crap.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, but it wasn't crap though if you stayed through it the whole time.
I know.
It's obviously
That's what
one of the
I
best
hear.
ones ever, but like,
That's
yeah,
what I
if you
hear.
weren't dialed in, you weren't dialed in.
In 2014, the Flint water crisis began. Remember
Oh,
that?
yeah. Yes, I do.
Lord. And then in 2021, global COVID-19 deaths surpasses 3 million.
Really?
That's just crazy.
Nah, but was that okay? But what number was that? Was that the COVID deaths, or like you died with COVID, or you died
It just says
COVID?
death toll. So I would be curious.
Right.
Yeah.
But like if you stepped out on the street and you got hit by a bus,
But you had COVID.
But you had COVID. Were you a COVID death?
I know. What else you got?
That's it.
Okay. Birthdays today. Jennifer Garner, 13 going on 30. One of my favorite movies. 1972. She was born that year on this day. Let's see. Victoria Beckham.
Yep.
1974. Oh, J.P. Morgan, one of the biggest names in bacon history. He was born in 1837. God bless.
Yep.
Okay. What about you? You have any birthdays?
Yes, I do. You had Jennifer Garner and Victoria Beckham. The other one that I had was Nikita Khrushchev, former premier of the Soviet Union. And that was it.
No notable deaths?
That's not true.
Oh, okay.
That is not true. Ben Franklin died on this day in 1790. He's kind of notable.
Yeah, I would say so. I didn't have him. Okay.
Yeah. And then on this day in 2018, Barbara Bush died.
Okay. All right.
And, wait, hang on. New Orleans reference. On this day in 2007, Kitty Carlisle died.
Oh, okay. We're going to go with National Cheese Ball Day. Why not?
Why?
I don't know.
It's National Crawfish Day.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Ooh, time to get out.
Yep. Hour 3 is next.
I didn't know it's National Crawfish. You sure? National Crawfish Day. Well, I'll be damned. This holiday celebrates the freshwater crustacean. That is a staple of Louisiana cuisine. Talk 107.3. Is this Monique? Oh, good. So we're on break right now, and then when we come back in, Brian's gonna pick up. Okay, probably 2 minutes.
I swear. Decline. Jesus.
All your
No, like I get at least 10 invites a day to like pages. Like I don't even know what Davila self-defense is. Never heard of you. I've never taken your self-defense classes. Oh, chat. Hey, glorified crew. Top Dog Law. Have you heard these? Like I stumbled upon it about a month ago. I heard a commercial. I was listening to WFMF. I heard a commercial for Top Dog Law, and then I heard another one yesterday. They are the most over-the-top, insanely dramatic, ridiculous commercials that could. And we're gonna do a bit on this real soon. I just got to get recordings. Well, I don't think they advertise with us. Because they advertise with like the national, like Clear Channel or iHeart and Cumulus and whatnot, because they're national. I don't know. I guess not, because we haven't heard them yet. I wouldn't mind hearing them on our station. So the premise, it's a lawyer who's at a law firm out of Pennsylvania, but they just book in Louisiana for referrals because I don't think they can actually practice law here. But you want to talk about the most jacked up. I was listening to a commercial yesterday, okay? And I'm going to paraphrase this a little bit. I don't have all of it down, and I apologize if doing the voice is offensive. But if you don't do the voice, you don't give it justice. So the commercial goes like this. You're driving. You're speeding. It's raining. Here comes the curve. Can you handle the curve? Do you even know how to drive? You're still speeding. You hit the curve. You lose control of the car. Your car flips over, hits 2 cars, then another car. Now it's a 4-car accident. People are screaming. Ambulance is coming. People are yelling, he's not moving. You look at your friend. Why is he not moving? Bruh, wake up, bruh. Why you not moving? Top dog law.
I cannot.
Oh, that is legit the commercial. That is, you're in there's another one. You're in an accident. You are now paralyzed. You're paralyzed from the neck down. Your mom says you about to get paid. Your friend said you gonna be a millionaire. Man, I don't give up about getting money. I can't feel my legs. I don't want no money. I want to walk again. Top dog law. Oh my God. My daughter's like, what are you? This is horrible. And I'm like crying. I am the cry laugh. I am the cry laugh emoji on this. I can't not. It's it's so overwhelmingly over the top. It just feeds jackpot justice into your vein like black tar heroin. Like it just, oh my, accidents are real. Top dog law. Gordon McKernan needs to step his game up. Let it play on Facebook.
I went to the store today and got into an accident. Doctors telling me I may not ever be able to work again in my life. My mom is telling me everything gonna be all right. She called Top Dog. Wife telling me we about to be rich. Brother telling me you about to be a millionaire. Like I give about some money right now. You know I'm paralyzed. You know I'm paralyzed from the neck down from this accident. All I did was try to go to the store. And y'all talking to me about some money. I don't give about no money, man. Talking about $1 mil, 2 mil. Man, I can't walk, man. I don't give about that $1 mil or 2 mil. I want to walk again. Accidents are real. Follow Top Dog on Instagram at Top Dog Law. Any accident, want the top dollar? It's TopDogLaw.com.
Did I tell you or did I tell you? Did I tell you? Or I mean, is that insane?
That is.
I've never seen anything like that, heard anything like that. And I want to know if it works. Like, I want to know, like, does that trigger in your mind enough to feed that jackpot justice mentality of just wanting to check? You think I give about money?
I ain't got no legs.
I can't get enough of it.
We should make.
I want to find like 4 of them or 5 of them.
Imaging piece with that. Brian Haldane. I ain't got no legs.
I'm paralyzed from the neck down. All right, time to be serious again. 806 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Brian here with you, Breland producing, workshopping a bit during the top of the hour news. Oh my goodness. If you're watching on Facebook Live, you already know we're gonna have some fun with this next week. It is 68 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge as we start off the 8 o'clock hour. Time to dial it back in because we got a lot of content to cover here. We've got Leah Long from NFIB joining us about 10 minutes from right now. We've got small sliders in the house for Foodie Friday later on. But we start off this hour getting into the 6th congressional district race. All the talk's been about the 5th, right? All the talk has been about replacing Congresswoman Julia Letlow as she makes her run for Senate. Well, what about the 6th? It's currently held by Cleo Fields, but we've seen a jacked up map, a jacked up district, and incumbency might not mean what it's supposed to here. So we're going to open up the floodgates and talk to basically every candidate in this race. We're trying to talk to every candidate in every congressional race. Monique Appeaning is joining us right now. She's on the hotline. She is vying for this seat as well. Monique, good morning. Welcome back to Talk 107.3. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you this morning?
I'm doing very well this morning. All right, let's start with the basics. What made you want to run for this race?
Oh, that's a great question. I had actually friends starting to have conversations with me. So, Monique, why don't you consider it? You have the qualifications, you have the experience, you know how to hit the ground running. And I didn't have a good reason of saying why I wouldn't. And I'm excited about it. I mean, it's really been an awesome opportunity. I've had the opportunity to go to all 10 parishes, and people are excited, you know, to know that I'm running from all genres, right?
Right.
And so, you know that people are hurting, knowing that, you know, things are rising, the cost of gas, the cost of groceries are rising, and people want answers, you know, and I have a platform that I'm running with called A Safe Path Forward, where I'm focusing on safe communities and a strong military, backing the blue, cracking down on crime and trafficking, strengthening and modernizing our military. I'm also focusing on affordable living from conservative tax policy, where I'm focusing on tax cuts for hardworking people, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, and stopping the waste before it hits the taxpayer. I'm also focusing on a future made in America. We need to stop outsourcing and rebuilding American manufacturing. We need to protect farmers and defend American agriculture, also supporting small businesses and help them create jobs and to succeed. And then we need to end the weaponization of government against our citizens, you know, and looking at everyday accountability. You know, I want to have visible leadership across all 10 parishes, you know, real oversight in Washington and really looking at results, you know, coming home with it, having a dashboard, meeting with the people. I mean, walking and meeting with people across all of those parishes. It's very interesting to know what they're dealing with.
How difficult is that? Because this parish is pretty jacked up. I mean, I think everybody kind of agrees that, well, I shouldn't say everybody agrees, but I mean, it's a pretty gerrymandered map.
Yeah, the 10 district, the 10 parishes, it's all the way up to Shreveport.
Yeah.
All the way down to, you know, Caddo Parish, all the way to East Baton Rouge Parish. And, you know, it's been really an interesting interaction with different people coming from different parishes and having different needs, but people are hurting. And I think that's the emphasis, knowing that people are hurting, knowing that they need hope to be restored, knowing that their voice matters, interacting with them has been priceless for me. You know, I mean, I'm talking to people, whether they're Democrats, whether they're Republicans, people are all hurting and they need help and they need a voice and they need to know that people care. And that's what's been encouraging. And I'm really excited. I really, really am excited about what's happening and the feedback that I'm getting all across the district.
Monique Appenning's our guest. She's running for Congress in the 6th. And it's not just that there's 10 parishes, Monique, because we have 64 parishes in 6 districts. So you're going to average out about between 10 and 11 per district if you just base it off solely off of the number of parishes. I know it's based off of population within, but it's not that it's 10 parishes. It's where the 10 parishes are and how it snakes its way all the way up to Shreveport on kind of that zigzag right there. So talk to me a little bit about the difference in need and want between those in Baton Rouge versus, let's say, those in Natchitoches.
Well, that's a good question, because having conversations with people inside of East Baton Rouge where I live, it's been interesting because some of the conversations outside of the parish has been on some of the more controversial issues that we're dealing with protecting property.
Right.
I've not heard anyone not be concerned about protecting their property. I've also listened to people who are talking about it, I mean, even at the gas station, and I think that went on social media, people concerning about the gas prices.
Yeah.
You know, so that's been a common issue, dealing with even the rising cost of groceries, looking at utility issues and the rising cost of utilities. People are very concerned and not happy with the rising costs, especially utilities. And, well, when I look at East Baton Rouge Parish, I know it's been a real issue and a real discussion. And even when I was in Keithville, we were at the gas station having conversations about the rising costs and the cost of even equipment and providing services, even dealing with home ownership and the cost that people are dealing with just the basic needs in homes.
This is not your first foray into the political field, and I kind of skipped past the first question just because I've had you on before in a previous race. I blew right past it. Give us the resume. Who is Monique Appeaning? And I'm pronouncing the last name right?
Yeah, you're perfect.
I thought so. I was 99% sure.
Yeah, you're doing great. Well, I've had over 25 years of experience. It was an honor for me to serve the people of Louisiana in both the executive and legislative branches of government. And during that time, I was managing budgets, protecting taxpayer dollars, and helping guide for responsible decisions regarding our state. I provided information to elected officials, and that was really a rewarding experience to be able to provide factual information. I worked with Republicans, I worked with Democrats, it was nonpartisan positions. And, I looked at that and it really helps me even now knowing that I will be able to hit the ground running in Washington, D.C. So I do appreciate you asking me about my background, knowing that the focus is about the people, knowing that I've been behind the scenes working for taxpayers my career during the course of my career.
Give me one issue, not from your agenda. And by the way, this is first of two conversations before Election Day. We'll get you back on again to pick up where we left off, but not from what you're looking to move forward specifically, but give me one issue that has resounded throughout the entire district, whether you're talking about Shreveport, whether you're talking about Natchitoches, whether you're talking about, anywhere between or up and down the line in those 10 parishes right there. What's the one issue that has been the most resounding that you've heard on the campaign trail?
Carbon capture.
Really?
Yes.
On a national level?
I'm saying, you want to know what the issue has been, yes.
Okay.
And people want to protect their property.
Yeah.
And their property rights. I was surprised, but throughout the 10 parishes, what I'm getting at every juncture is this issue on carbon capture and protecting their property.
That's crazy.
And people are not happy, and that's the feedback that I've gotten. It's an interesting question, and I appreciate you asking.
Yeah.
And people are very concerned. They're concerned about it, and it's something that, the non-disclosure agreements and having those conversations, it's a very delicate issue for those that are involved, but that's been the issue.
It is amazing how quickly.
The rising cost.
Yeah. And that's exactly why I asked the question. And I appreciate your answer right there. Because I would not have thought, for a congressional race, carbon capture is a state issue. That doesn't matter when it comes to what the people believe and what the people want. Misinformation can get out there very, very quickly. So good to hear that it's that resounding. Well, it's actually a little alarming to hear that it's that resounding, but good to know that you're, on top of it when it comes to listening on the campaign trail. Look, we're gonna get you back on in very short order before Election Day, to be sure. In the meanwhile, Monique Appeaning running for Congress. If you want to check out the website, it's APPEANING, appenningforcongress.com. Monique, we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. We are at 8:15 at Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. We ran a little bit long there. Speaking of long, Leah Long coming up next on Talk 107.3.
We have one more interview, and then we're going to come to you. Yeah. So we can start unpacking. Look, can we move this? Is Leah coming in, Brian?
What?
Is Leah coming in? Can we move
No, she's on the hotline. So, yes, we can move the table for sure. Hey, how are you? I'm Brian.
Good. How are you, Brody?
Brody, good to meet you, man.
Good to meet you.
We've had Jacob on in the past, back when Smalls was just getting
We're going to
started.
come to we're gonna break right now.
So,
it's been a good
1
minute since
minute.
then.
Oh, yeah.
We'll come to you, okay?
Pretty quick rise, though. You mentioned like wildfire. You gotta love that.
Ooh, that smells good.
So, as I understand it, we're doing a full food drop around like lunchtime today?
We're going to be dropping. This is just 6 of the barbecue, 6 of the relish, just for us to try on air.
Yeah, awesome.
And then I'll bring the lunch for y'all
Perfect.
at 11.
Cool. And yeah, I'm already ready. Have been since the first location, since they dropped those containers on Nicholson. So yeah,
I've been working for the company 7 years, and so I'm a big fan.
Obviously. We live in Sherwood, and interestingly enough, the quickest and small to get to and get home is Denver.
Yep, I mean that makes sense.
Yeah, well, Bluebonnet is probably geographically the quickest, but when you're
going
just
down,
zipping
I'll
up
bring
Florida
it
Boulevard,
from
right?
Because I live in Tierra, so I'll go through town.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
So, yeah, when it was just the Nicholson location, way back when it was just the Nicholson location, would love to go there, but by the time I got home, it's a 25-30-minute drive.
Oh, yeah.
And part of the appeal was with the, with the toasted buns and everything, you gotta get to it quick.
Yeah, eat right then and there. That's when it's the best.
Yeah.
All
Grab
right.
the other side of that real quick. Put this up over the garbage can and then come on in. And that way everything's at our fingertips during the segment.
You got it.
Are those milkshakes?
We got milkshakes extra.
Oh, I thought you said moonshine. I'm like, damn, y'all.
Awesome.
Milkshakes, I'm all for it.
And I got to get out. I'm going to get out for 28 with Leah because she's got a 8:30 appointment to get to. So I promised her I'd get out a minute or so early. So that's only going to give us like 10 minutes. Oh. Brody, what's your last name? Tolliver?
Yes, sir. I actually think whenever Jacob came on, you had my brother, Bryce, with him.
That sounds right.
I know Brian.
I've had Jacob on a couple times. I can't remember who was in the last time though, because
I have a picture with somebody.
Dude with curly hair back in the day.
Yes.
I don't remember, but like,
I interviewed somebody from Small Sliders for y'all were a sponsor for thing at Lamar. Lamar did that. It was a Christmas concert, and I interviewed somebody.
818 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. We're moving quickly this hour, y'all. So let's get right back to the hotline. Leah Long with the National Federation for Independent Business is with us. Little mid-session report card, if you will. Leah, welcome back. How are you this morning?
Hey, good. Thanks for having me on.
No, glad to have you on to talk about how it's going over there at the state capitol. What is your midterm report card?
We always kind of give it a middle number, kind of like middle letter. We did have a couple tough losses. Centralized sales tax did get deferred in committee a couple weeks ago, which that's been a big push for our members for years now. Mm-hmm. And I know and the general cap bill, which it failed in civil law. But
yep.
Those two negative things, but there's also a lot of positive things moving, and workforce development really focused on making sure that there are skilled workforce available for jobs in Louisiana is a big push this year. And so that's something I'm excited to see because, around our biggest issue for small businesses right now is the labor quality issue. I think in our latest report last month that 32% of small business owners had jobs they couldn't fill. And so I think as we continue to move forward in session and working and putting workforce development as a top priority is going to be a big deal for these small business owners.
So you talk about labor quality and workforce development and the like. This was the theme of the first half or first third of the legislative session was pushing those bills forward. Do you think enough has been done? I know not all of them are across the finish line just yet. Some of them have just moved across the rotunda to the other side. Do you think there's enough on the table right now to fill to help facilitate filling the jobs that are coming here?
I think paired with last year with the one-door policy and the, Bayou jobs, opportunities that they're working on this session, I think it's a step in the right direction. I know we always talk about it's no silver bullet moving anything forward, but we've got to move in the right direction. And I'm super positive, hoping that some of these, especially when it comes to the talent accelerators, being able to have a small business owner call in Louisiana Works and be able to say, hey, I have this job opening, is there anything available? Do you have any, trade school programs that you have people coming out of that, can get in these jobs? I think that's going to make a difference, connecting employers with employees and vice versa.
Now you're with NFIB, so we're talking small business here. How much of what's going on right now helps target small business, and how much of what's going on right now helps, like, let's say the big dogs, like a Woodside or a Hyundai? That's not exactly small business, but talk to me a little bit about how what is being focused on now makes its way down the line to more mom and pop level.
Yeah, so I mean, some are focused on big business, and some are focused just in business in general. And so it's not just super specific to big or little business. They kind of coexist together. We talk about that a lot. Whether you're in a Chevron, some of these contractors that come into work are their one man small contracting company that got the bid in the big companies. And so I think you have to have both. And I know that's what the focus has been. I know Rep. Tarver has talked a lot about in labor committee when it does come to some of these bills and the industry specific bills, is this going to help small business? And the answer is always yes, being able to connect people in those jobs.
Well, because that's kind of the niche for Louisiana, right? I mean, if you want the head office of ExxonMobil, it's not going to be here. But when you want everyone that services ExxonMobil, you're going to find them in our backyard. That's kind of our wheelhouse.
Absolutely. We think about the Meta facility in North Louisiana. A lot of people that got bids on that job are small business owners, whether you're a fencing company, whether you're going to do the alarm system, whether you're doing the groundwork. A lot of those are the small businesses in North Louisiana, or even businesses in general in the state of Louisiana that get some of those jobs. And I think that's important to remember. We want big business to come in to Louisiana, but we also want to make sure that we can protect and continue to make sure these small business owners that have already been here, for 50, 60, some even 100 years, family-owned businesses continue to thrive and have the same opportunities.
We've got Leah Long from the National Federation for Independent Business. We got Leah for about 4 more minutes here before we got to cut her loose. Hey, by the way, I appreciate you squeezing us in this morning. I know it was a last-second ask. I want to recap a couple of the you mentioned 2 bills that fell short. Centralized sales tax collection is one that made it through the legislative process before, then fell short at the polls. Do we know why it didn't clear out from the legislative process this time around? What was different that it fell short this early in the process?
I think the process as early as, we had a new e-file system happen, a couple sessions ago, and it just kind of got implemented. And so I think the legislature, especially Ways and Means, they want to see how that continues to work. They're trying to work out some kinks, but we've got to make it easier for these small business owners to do that, to file because now with the new e-file system and the kind of new legislative language is that if you do business in more than one parishes, Tangipahoa, St. Tammany, you've got to file now in every parish, and even if that amount is 0.
Right.
So, the balancing thing is, you got to, I know the locals want their money, and we want to make it easier for industry to file too. So at some point there's going to have to be a compromise, and we're going to get it done. We just kind of keep pushing it off a little bit further, but, I'm hopeful maybe not next session, but the next, once we kind of get everything, new terms, that kind of thing, and put that as a priority.
No, absolutely. I know it's one that's been a soapbox on this show, not just for me, but for, we have guests on who have been screaming as loud as possible to get this done. And the dirty little secret that shouldn't be a secret, though, is you talk about parishes wanting to get their money. There's more money to be had on the table if you go centralized than if you keep it local.
Absolutely. And that's been some talking points that we had when everyone was testifying in committee. And so I think everyone understands that, and everyone's open to the idea. This year, unfortunately, that wasn't a priority. And, we want to continue to push that. And I think we got to keep the conversation open.
Move over to that general cap that fell short as well. I don't think any of us were really surprised by this, were we?
No, I don't think we were surprised. But, we talked about the last 2 years really trying to move the needle forward when it comes to insurance and lawsuit abuse. And we can't just stop where we were and be happy with how it is, because commercial insurance is still outrageous. And, you heard from the truckers that day saying they're going to have to move their businesses. And that's a shame, because some of those are independently owned. They've been working in Louisiana for years and years. And so we've got to continue to figure out what to do here, because it's not just a sit and wait, because things are going to continue. Insurance prices, it eats away at the bottom line for these business owners. And talk about that. I know last time real fast as we talked about workers' comp reform, some of those bills are moving, and I'm positive and I'm hopeful we can continue to move that. But in that section of it, you just never know either. It kind of falls into lawsuit abuse, and you just never know where those bills are going to end at the end of the day.
By the way, when you talk about workers' comp reform, I filed that into the same, that's in the same file as lawsuit abuse, right? To me, those two are synonymous. We've got Leah Long on with us for a couple more minutes talking about the legislative session. All right, let's close the book on the first half, open the book for the second half. What's got your eye for the next week or two?
Continuing the workers' comp bills, definitely, some of them have moved over to the other chambers. We're sitting in committees, the workforce development. There's a lot of conversation about credit card swipe fees. There isn't a credit card swipe fee bill this year, but I think spending the next 6 weeks educating legislators on that is going to be a huge thing, just move forward, because it's happening around the country. So we're positive, we're moving at a fast pace, and I hope they keep the momentum up to continue to protect small business as the next 6 weeks goes on.
She is Leah Long on behalf of the National Federation for Independent Business. We always appreciate the time, Leah. We'll check in soon for further updates.
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely, thank you. I appreciate Leah hopping on board right there. I know that was a short conversation, but she was squeezing us in as she had an appointment to get to. Speaking of business, speaking of industry, got to remind you about industrymakes.org, industrymakes.org, the voice of business up and down the river, whether you're talking about manufacturing, whether you're talking about chemical, the industry that creates jobs, builds jobs for Louisiana. the industries that build literally everything we use in our lives, whether you're talking about, equipment used in hospitals to the shoes on your feet, they've got you covered. And industrymakes.org is a collective voice to return serve when you see protests popping up left and right. Anytime anything moves on that front, you're going to hear the opposition. Well, who's putting out the voice speaking up for industry? That's industrymakes.org. We do it cleaner here. We do it better here. We keep Louisianans employed. Learn more about how you could become an advocate at industrymakes.org. 827 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Hey, Bree Lynn, do you think we have enough time to do the JD Vance thing?
Let's just roll with it.
Okay. Yeah. Been sitting on this topic all morning long, and it's kind of a follow-up and not a full-on apology or a correction, but a clarification from a topic we had yesterday. There's been some back and forth between the Pope and President Donald Trump. Pope spoke out against the war in Iran, spoke out against war in general, spoke out in favor of peace, and got some blowback from that. Do you have the cut that I had from yesterday? All right. Yesterday, I played this cut from Vice President J.D. Vance. If you would, just without further explanation, play yesterday's cut.
If you're going to opine on matters of theology, you've got to be careful. You've got to make sure it's anchored in the truth. And that's one of the things that I try to do. And it's certainly something I would expect from the clergy, whether they're Catholic or Protestant.
Wow. Man, that is a brutal hit at the Pope, right? Right? Isn't it? If you listen to any national talk radio shows, they were taking shots at the Pope on that same front. Say, you better watch it, stay in his lane. Right? Right? If you follow any of the, major news networks, they're flipped around saying J.D. Vance is coming after the Pope. Right? Right? Well, I played that clip because that's the clip that I'd come across. Bree Lynn was watching something this morning, and I was C-SPAN. So you want to skip past all the major networks and get right to the heart of the rest of the story, as Paul Harvey used to say. Man, that quote turns greatly when you play even further to hear that very same comment, that very same response to a question, J.D. Vance elaborated.
I kind of like, even when there's disagreement, I like it when the Pope comments on questions of immigration. I like it when the Pope talks about abortion. I like it when the Pope talks about matters of war and peace, because I think that at the very least, it invites a conversation. So I think some people, their reaction to this is to say, well, he shouldn't have said that. And look, there are certainly things that the Pope has said in the last few months that I disagree with. Let me just take one very concrete example.
We're not going to talk about the full concrete example, but you kill that. Does that change your perception of the entire narrative?
Yep. I would.
Does that completely 180 the entire narrative?
Yep.
Isn't it so much more friendly and inviting when you hear the rest of the conversation versus rattling everyone's cages for clicks? I bet we all did. Here comes news. We got Foodie Friday next. Awesome. Come on over, man. Right there. And so we're talking a little bit about Smalls, a little bit about the evolution, as how it's been growing. And then we'll get into the actual food porn that is behind us, which we need to show that off to the camera before we dive in. And
oh my gosh.
Right? Look at that. Yeah.
I'm stoked on this.
And by the way, we're always on Facebook Live. So, yeah. What is that behind it? You said strawberry lemonade?
Yes.
What is that shade?
That's a strawberry swirl shade.
Okay.
Kind of lost the swirl in transit. But
it has fresh strawberries at the bottom.
So
fresh strawberry puree. It's not syrup.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
And whenever y'all taste it live, y'all be able to see.
Let me see if I can grab a napkin and I'm going to show a burger to the camera.
Well, pick the whole thing up and put it in the camera. Okay. So we do a video. I mean, the video is part of the, but we're a radio show, so we've only got the one camera.
Right.
So we're kind of in that in between space where, we'll get a good 2,000 views a day. But it's not where our made focuses. So we try to serve both masters. Are you at a particular location?
I'm at the Nicholson Drive location and in Blue Bonnet.
So you go back and forth. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. No, I've got a long history with the brands, and I opened Prairieville and Gonzales.
Okay.
Years ago.
But have you ever wheeled a homeless person out of the driveway on Seegan? Blaine
Nicholson, I think I've done worse.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Not well. I'll dig in when we get the break. Blaine's a very good friend. Besh, yeah. So, he's one of the best around. Love him like a brother. Blaine Besh? No, I don't. He sends other people. Blaine used to work here.
That's what. So she was telling me on the walk up here that somebody used to work here, and I think she said Brett. I know Blaine. So
Brett is Blaine's brother. So yeah, okay. But yeah, Blaine was in sales over here. Yeah, miss him. He was. I hadn't seen him in a long time. He's a good dude.
Here we go.
Oh yeah,
that's who I interviewed.
No, is that Craig? I think I know that.
It's Craig.
That name sounds.
He was the last one over here too. Yeah. Oh, the last time we had.
Look, I was in. We were at Rod the Country at Lamar.
Yeah, and was he at Gonzales and Prairieville with them?
Yes.
Because he'd moved around quite a bit.
Yeah, but he did come to Baton Rouge. He told me for a hobby.
He was at Blue Bonnet for a bit. I know he started at Denham, went to Blue Bonnet, then went to Prairieville and Gonzales. He's a good dude too.
Yeah.
Damn, y'all.
Yeah, y'all are doing a lot of things right.
I appreciate that.
It's stupid.
Did you get the barbecue one? Yeah, because I got barbecue on this side, original on that side.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
I knew they were different. I got the barbecue.
Yeah, barbecue's so good.
That's good. I'm not a big barbecue sauce person. That's good.
So, the process, full prep process, right? Like cooking because the whole purpose of the segment is to up people's foodie game at home. So we try to give some tips and tricks along the way, and y'all have a few tricks along the way with steaming the buns and everything. So we're to talk about all of it.
I've been working in the kitchens for the past 7 years. So
okay.
I know all.
Okay.
I cooked those this morning.
Your fries. Are they waffle fries?
Seasoned waffle fries.
That's what I thought. My boys love y'all. I just never think to go. Because I live in Terra. So, we'll go to town center before we go.
Where is Terra?
You know where the police department's at? The headquarters for police, the old women's hospital.
Yeah.
So, well, that's Goodwood and Airline. Also, if you go south of Goodwood from there, Terra is in between Old Hammond and Goodwood on the west side of Airline. So.
Yeah, so you don't live close to really any it's a 15-minute drive wherever you go.
Yeah.
If I were to go, I would go to Blue Bonnet.
Yeah. Blue Bonnet would be your easiest because you'd come up Blue Bonnet to Jefferson.
I would take OPM to
Jefferson Fairway. And then Fairway back.
What kills me is all that construction they have going on right now.
On Blue Bonnet? It's been a nightmare.
And I had to go see my doctor on Blue Bonnet.
Did y'all hear about the gas line that ruptured underneath the street in Blue Bonnet?
On Blue Bonnet, yeah. David. Oh, really? Damn.
That had performed Rock and Roll last night, and they didn't know if they were going to be able to play.
Yeah,
because of the gas line.
The firefighters had to come in and make sure we weren't going to die. I was like, I didn't think that was a risk I had to mitigate today.
Today. Oh, God.
If you let me know in advance, maybe. But.
Yeah, let me plan ahead. Do I want to die today? My boys.
Just.
Do y'all have a cheese sauce?
Yes.
My boys like to get the cheese and dip the fry in the.
Yeah,
it's a game changer.
I almost brought and I can talk about this on air. I wish I brought because the jalapenos, you can get a side of jalapenos. And if you get the side of jalapenos and the queso and the fry,
that's a meal. And it's
it's ridiculous.
I would eat just that.
That's so good.
Now, do I have to get them all separate, or can I tell them load me up?
So you have to get it separate, at least for right now.
Oh, so y'all
I
might
need
actually make that a feature.
60 seconds before we get started. So 837 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. About to visit with one of our favorites for Foodie Friday, as Smalls Sliders is in the house. But I need a quick minute to remind you about One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is the website. You want to spell that out, O-N-E, One Bath and Closets, or just give them a call, 400-8005, 400-8005. Talk to David Duvall about upgrading your closet. Look, does your closet or bathroom need an upgrade? Let me re-ask the question and ask it this way. Did you build your home, or did you buy a home that was already built? If you bought a home, that bathroom was built for someone else. Those closets were built for someone else. If you want them built to what you want, David Duvall can help. And I had no idea how deep this could go, how specific it could get, until Christian and I walked through the process ourselves. This was our Christmas present to each other last year, was a new master bathroom. And when I tell you the walk-in shower is magnificent, when I tell you I had no idea what we were missing out on by not having two vanities, the lighting is a game changer. The floors are perfection. Everything David did was meticulous and collaborated with us along the way, every step of the way. 400-8005 or onebathandclosets.com. All right, time for a little Foodie Friday action. I want to welcome Brody Tolliver from Small Sliders in. How are you, sir?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing very well. I'm not going to beat around the bush here, and I apologize for my phrasing, except that I don't. Y'all are going full food porn now.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Barbecue bacon jalapeno slider. We're going to get into prep and give some little tips and tricks for the audience for making their own thing at home in a little bit. But I want to go back to where someone sat down and said, let's do all of this together. All right, walk me through how y'all put this on the menu.
So, I mean, the most requested thing for the past 7 years has been barbecue sauce, jalapenos, ranch, all of that. And so we decided, if we're going to add barbecue, we want to throw a little bit of that heat in and then throw the jalapenos on top. It was just a marvelous combination.
Well, yes. So let me start with this. And I'm not trying to be like hypercritical. I'm just asking because I'm genuinely curious. When you talk barbecue sauce, you normally think of over an open flame. How does the barbecue sauce make its way into the mix when you're on that griddle instead?
So the barbecue itself doesn't make its way over to the griddle. It's off to the side, So we put it onto the buns itself.
Okay. All right. So there's no mix and match on that.
No batter.
All right.
Anything like that.
And bacon was just because it's bacon?
Oh, yeah. Who doesn't like bacon?
Yeah, I gotta love it. Let's take a moment to kind of rewind the clock, because I am loving it. Just as a Baton Rougean, I'm loving this meteoric rise, this very, very quick rise of Small Sliders. I mean, you're doing, one thing really, really well. And I'm not going to try and steal somebody else's slogan, but you're doing one thing really, really better than anybody else. Talk to me a little bit about how Smalls has, scaled, evolved, grown.
Yeah. So I've been working for the past 7 years for Small Sliders, and I've seen a lot. So for 4 years, we were just at one location, and then we opened the Bluebonnet location, second ever. Then that same year, opened 3 more. Next year, opened 5 more. Now, the past year, we opened 30 in 1 year. And then we've got over 300 in development right now. So it's just people are seeing what we're doing, and they're liking it, and they want a part of it. And it's all across the nation.
300 in development. What's the furthest one away from Baton Rouge?
Man, I don't know if it's El Paso or if it's if they've opened the one in New Mexico yet, but they're getting far away.
And you think about how quickly that's happening. I mean, when compared to other quick service places that have originated in Baton Rouge, it's like how quickly Facebook grew, and then when TikTok came out, how quickly that grew.
Oh yeah,
Smalls is the TikTok in this equation here. To see this rapid acceleration, and oh, by the way, the formula is so simple.
Yes, sir.
Walk us through preparing your normal slider.
So for our normal slider, we've got it's a mix of 80-20 ground beef that we pre-prep into 2-ounce pucks is what we call them.
Okay.
They're just little circles of beef, right? Yeah. And then in the past we had a flat top grill.
Yes.
And you would hand smash those on a grill, throw salt on it, give it some time, flip it over, throw some American cheese on there, and then we've got toasted buns, and we throw our top bun on there, and then before placing the slider onto the bottom bun, we put our signature smoss with pickle on top, and then send it out and serve it.
Mm-hmm. The by the way, the signature Smoss is the dill in that is the game changer.
Oh, so
it's what separates it from everybody's got a sauce, but it's the dill that separates the Smoss from the other sauces. You said started with a flat top. Has that evolved to something else now?
It has. So we've been over the years looking for more consistency in how we do things. We don't want it to just be all right. Some days you get Brody's sliders, other days you get another person's sliders. We want it to be small sliders,
right?
And so we've been messing around with different concepts, and so we at some locations they have what clamshell that you physically press. Other locations have a grill that you press a button and it does the job for you on the smash itself and gets you a perfect quality slider every time. And of course, you're putting the cheese on there. You're putting that human touch is still there.
Yeah.
But we're not fully phasing the robots.
No. But wherever you could utilize technology, you want to utilize technology, because the more you utilize technology, like you said, you want it to be a small slider. Consistency is the name of the game.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. We got Brody Tolliver from Smalls Sliders in with us. I know the barbecue bacon jalapeno just got on the menu recently. What has been the reception thus far?
I mean, people have been loving it. It was at the start a little bit of, oh, okay, people were trying it out. Now they're completely switching over, and I agree with it. Ever since this slider's come out, I love our original slider, but man, I've only been eating the barbecue bacon jalapeno.
That's, I mean, because it is, when you think about it, well, I want to say it's a perfect combo, but the Smoss has to go away for this one, right? You're trading off Smoss for barbecue sauce.
Yeah, trading off the Smoss for barbecue, but you can add barbecue or add the Smoss to the barbecue sliders.
To me, that's too much. I wouldn't.
Hey, some people are extra like
I would rather, if I'm going to go in and get like a half dozen of them, I'd go 3 and 3.
Oh yeah,
probably 4 and 2. But you know what I'm saying? You don't want to lose that original creation of the Smoss that built y'all. I mean, it's still there and it's still awesome.
Yeah, and I don't think it's going away anytime soon. Right. I mean, people are still loving the OG slider.
Absolutely. Brody Tolliver from Small Sliders is in with us. 300 in development.
Yes, sir.
That's incredible. That is such a ramp up. Unbelievable stuff. Okay, so let's get back in the kitchen real quick. We did not talk seasoning mix. I know y'all keep it simple.
Keep it very simple. Salt.
Salt.
And then with our fries, it's a bit different because they come pre-battered in their own seasoning. I believe Cajun seasoning waffle fries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, the waffle fries, Bree Lynn was talking about this during the break. So if you're watching on Facebook Live, you already heard about it. With the waffle fries, the queso dip. I mean,
so good.
Yeah. What's this been like as a process as things have grown? There have been small tweaks along the way, but seeing the fruits of the labor of like when it hits, it gets added on. It's like if you go to some place that's been around since like the 50s or the 60s or whatever, you're not moving into a place that has room for improvement. They are what they're going to be. But with Smalls, you're still in a growth stage. You're still in an evolution stage.
Yeah. I think for a while, we just had to get our slider perfect. And then now that we feel like we've dialed it in to where it's perfect, we've decided, you know what, it's time for some innovation here. I mean, first time in 7 years, we've changed the slider.
Right.
It's only going to get better from here.
Go back to the automated part, the machine that does this. What's the comp in someone's own kitchen if they were looking to? I mean, is it just having the smasher there, or is there something we could find at a supply store
that's similar in that regards? No, I don't think anything quite like that smasher you could find to do in your own kitchen. I think tried and true, do it the old-fashioned way. 2 spatulas, making X. Kind of set the front of the spatula down and ease it down, and then do a little wiggle on the top, and then you'll get that perfect, just round disc.
Okay. So no, I got the cast iron with the handle on the back.
Oh yeah.
The full on burger smasher. It's put that on the Blackstone.
Yeah. I think you can still do that. And it'd be valid.
It's the way to go. We got Brody Tolliver in with us. Small Sliders in with us for Foodie Friday. So Brody, let me tell you how this works. When we get into when we come up to 8:50, we got a break on air for your money now, and then we'll check traffic and we'll come back one more time on the back end for a couple minutes. But during the break, that's when I'm going to dig in and stuff my fat face and we'll give a full on review of the barbecue bacon jalapeno slider on the back end.
Forewarning.
No spoilers.
So
no spoilers. No.
So good.
No spoilers.
That's all I'm saying.
I'm saying I need to go in with a blank slate. You can't alter my expectations. It's out there now. Before we get to that break though, and I don't want to step too far away from the tried true, the OG, the sliders and whatnot, but you brought in some other refreshments to go along with this.
Yeah, so we serve three things: slider, shakes, and fries, and shakes are a big part of it. So not only did we bring it back, because the strawberry swirl shake was the thing last summer. We tried it out for the first time. Everybody loved it. So we decided, let's throw it on the menu full time. So strawberry swirl is here to stay, and we brought it here today for y'all to try. Swirl kind of got lost in transit, but the flavor didn't get lost.
Right. Well, we'll see if we can't stir that up a little bit. So yeah, you were saying an actual strawberry puree.
Yeah.
You're not using like a syrup. You're not using a quote unquote strawberry flavored ice cream.
Right.
And the puree is in there to where you're going to get actual strawberry flavor, not some lab's rendition.
Yeah, you're gonna get some chunks in there too, just some strawberry bits.
Let's go.
It's nice.
Let's go.
And we also have a strawberry lemonade back there. And so this was actually, it's a funny story. There were cans that's what we call the restaurants, cans.
Yeah.
That were making at the time that we introduced the strawberry swirl shake. People were requesting strawberry lemonade. Can you just put some in my lemonade? And so you know what? We decided, let's throw it on the menu.
Okay. But see, that's what I'm talking about. When I'm talking about, like, if you go to some place that's been around since the 50s, there's no opportunity to do that on an individual level, to be part of that process, to be part of, I mean, I'm sure at some point someone, said, hey, let's add a second patty somewhere. And that became a completely different burger. But y'all have the Biggie Smalls too. So
Yes,
you're already
sir.
on the two patty track right there. But to be able to contribute on that level, the buy-in within the Smalls family, I mean, you're at peak Smalls time right now.
Yeah, and if anybody's out there listening and they think that their voice doesn't make a difference whenever it comes to things like this, no, we've been listening to y'all this whole time.
Absolutely.
And finally decided to make the move on barbecue. What's to say what's next in the future?
Baton Rouge born, Baton Rouge raised is Small Sliders. And by the way, when Brody calls them a can, it's like they're literally shipping containers.
Yes, sir.
So cool. All right, we got break coming up in just a quick second. Before we hit that break, I do need to remind you that starting Monday, the Dreams Come True Radiothon headed your way, presented by the Baton Rouge Clinic. It's right around the corner this year. First American Bank and Boudreaux's Electrical have each pledged to match your donations once we reach $2,000 overall. So whatever amount you can spare starting Monday, that'll get us much closer to making more dreams come true for local kids who are battling life-threatening illnesses. Join Talk 107.3 in the Baton Rouge Clinic in helping make dreams come true. It all starts Monday, April 20th. All right, 850 Talk 107.3 FM on air. Here comes your money now on Facebook Live and YouTube. Oh, we're digging in.
Yes. Right. Are we off air right now? Or?
We're on Facebook
I'm just
Live.
editing, but we're still on
Okay.
Facebook. We're off the air, but we're on Facebook.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay. This is my first time doing something like this.
Really?
On that, yeah.
Are you nervous at all?
Not really. I've done like podcasts before, but that's like pre-recorded. You know, it's not the same.
Well, the good thing about live is nobody's going to screw up more than me. So, well, I mean, I talk the most. So.
Yeah, I mean that only makes sense.
All right.
I hope y'all don't mind if I did end or something.
No, get after it. Man.
Yeah.
All right, let me see. Let me try this shake. In the lemonade.
I brought the shakes are for y'all. I should have considered myself in one because I love those things. But
You want to share this with me?
oh no, I'm fine.
You sure?
Yeah, no, it's all for you.
No.
Y'all mind if I just set this on the table or?
Yeah. Look, let me get you a plate. Hang on.
I don't want to dirty up y'all setup.
No.
What'd you pick up? The OG or
The OG first.
Yeah.
Not a plate.
Thank you.
Yeah, we ran out of plates, so.
Nothing wrong with a bowl.
All right, let me try this milkshake. So it's vanilla and strawberry. correct?
Yes, vanilla and strawberry puree.
All right, let's see. That's good. Damn.
Glad to hear it. Don't spoil it for him though. He doesn't want to spoil.
Yeah, I'm not spoiling it. I'm not spoiling it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Man, I love the sliders.
Isn't it great?
For 5 years, I didn't miss a slider a day at least.
Really?
Yeah. So good.
I do a segment on Wednesdays called Legally Served. We bring an attorney in here, Franz Borchardt, who's got a bit of an over-the-top personality. And when y'all were first launching, he was like downplaying the slider, like, oh, it's tiny, tiny, tiny. He says, I bet you I could eat 2 dozen of them. So Jacob was listening, and he brought in 2 dozen for a little on-air challenge.
Did he eat 4?
He ate 17.
Oh.
And then lost about 6 of them when he went through.
Well, there's this thing inside the cans. I don't know if the new cans know about it, but it's an employee-led challenge.
Okay.
It's called the 10 Biddy Challenge.
I can do it.
I think that I could do it. I'm on a cut right now. Maybe when I get back on the bulk, I'm gonna do it. But I think that I could do it. And I think he's got he owns, like, of course, the shares of the company, right? And then as well as you just tried the strawberry lemonade. Oh yeah,
that's ridiculous. The strawberry lemonade.
Oh yeah, it's so good. But he owns like shares of the company, and so he's got stake there. But I think he also has his own location in New Orleans.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So he's very hands-on.
And I know his Serge. I was in North Carolina this weekend, and my husband took the boys last week in the spring break, whatever. Took them to Serge. They love it.
They have Surge in North Carolina?
No. My husband stayed back with the boys.
Oh, okay.
And I went up to North Carolina, and he took them to the Surge location over there by y'all.
Mm-hmm.
And they loved it.
Oh yeah.
He was like, "There's so much to do, to like laser tag, the games,
Yeah, it's a pretty cool place. Yeah.
That barbecue one.
Oh, I'm obsessed with it.
I think I would, from now on, like, that'll be my choice. I love it. And it's not, so my boys don't like spice. That's not spicy. It's not too spicy. They won't eat it.
Some people, I mean, it depends on your spice tolerance. Some people think that it's super spicy.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
I eat jalapenos all the time, so it's not spicy to me.
Yeah, I put jalapenos in
I think
Yeah.
the barbecue sauce, and he's going to talk about that on air. I think it counteracts. It takes some of the spice out.
It's that sweet heat. I love that thing so much. You waiting to dig into that shake?
You what?
You waiting to dig into that shake?
Yeah. Actually, I probably should do that before we're back in, huh?
You got to eat it with the burger, Brian.
I do what?
You got to take a bite of the burger and then.
Was there another the shake straw?
Look,
I think she stole both the straws. Yeah.
Oh, you took both of the big straws.
Oh,
the
no
big straw.
shit. I took both straws. Here, go wash this one. Here.
Swap it.
Yeah, and go wash it. Of course I would. Top 107.3. Yes, ma'am. You talking about the guy with small sliders? Yeah.
Ooh.
Yes. Go
Okay.
ahead. Look, do this. Go ahead and email Brian. Can you call me back after 9? Is that okay? We're about to go back into the segment. Okay. Okay. It's a lady who wants to talk to you.
Oh.
Okay.
So much to unpack. I don't know where to begin. Brody Tolliver from Small Sliders is in for Foodie Friday, introducing the barbecue bacon jalapeno slider. Let me start with the OG before we get into the barbecue because there's so much happening.
Oh yeah.
Tried and true. The salt plays background to the beef. It accentuates the beef. It doesn't overpower it, which is awesome. The OG slider, that small that I was talking about last time, it's just the right amount of dill, and then you slap a pickle on top of it as well. So it's a little dill on dill, but it's the perfect situation for a griddle top beef. It's just there's no reason to get too far down the road with it, right? And then the softness and the sweetness of the way y'all prepare the bun, icing on the cake to be sure. So the OG still tried and true.
Yes, sir.
You haven't lost a step at all by moving over. Now, what you gain, it's a completely different flavor profile. I mean, completely different flavor profile when you move over to the barbecue, bacon, and jalapeno. Let's start with the bacon and the beef together. It's not a combination as much as it's a 1-2 punch.
Yes, sir.
It's not, they're not working in tandem. They're working like they're doing their own thing, but you taste both of them and did both to perfection. Now, jalapeno and barbecue sauce together, what you're getting here isn't a full-on, it's not spicy. It's like a tangy sweet heat when you combine the two together. Because, I mean, it's a sweet barbecue. There's sweetness to the barbecue sauce, and you have a pickled jalapeno or a number of pickled jalapenos in there. But it presents this sweet heat profile that's completely different than I was expecting.
Yeah, and I think that's what we were going for whenever we were first coming up with the slider, because we want it to be accessible to everybody.
Right.
You can't have it too spicy, right?
Right.
But I mean, people with different spice tolerance, maybe if you don't like the spice, take off the jalapenos. You still got a great flavor there. But I think that just keep the jalapenos on there, you're going to be blown away.
Meanwhile, this strawberry lemonade, this might be my new go-to. Every time I slide through, that's going to be the new go-to. The shake, when you talked about adding the puree to the ice cream instead of going with, the puree is a complete game changer. Like,
yes,
I don't understand. Like, this is all at the bottom. I try to stir it up a little bit, but I got a good dose of puree on the sip. So it actually might have played in my favor to have it all at the bottom because it all came up together. But it's enough to accent it without overpowering it.
Yes, sir.
Small sliders, you know where to find them. You know what to look for. You look for the cans. How many locations are we up to in Baton Rouge now?
I think we'd have 5 in the Baton Rouge metro area. You've got our 2 locations that I'm with on 4343 Nicholson Drive and 7610 Bluebonnet Boulevard. But we also have the Denham Springs location, Prairieville, and Gonzales, as well as Segan. Can't leave Segan
Can't leave Segan out, to be sure. He is Brody Tolliver with Smalls. Great job. Get yourself the barbecue bacon jalapeno sliders. This is not a temporary thing. It's a permanent menu edition.
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. Right now, it's limited time only, so get it while you can.
Oh, so okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But hopefully, I like it. Hopefully it stays, but I'm not the company.
I give it a full-on 10. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you.
Moon's next. We'll see y'all next week. All right.
We are
still on Facebook Live. Look, just to put a button on it before we get out of here, Facebook, because I've got to hustle over to Mercy. My son's bringing the gifts at Mass today. Seriously, the barbecue bacon jalapeno slider, when you combine all 3 of them like that, I say barbecue bacon, is bacon barbecue jalapeno. If you were to put it in the order with which the flavor is going to hit you, it would go bacon and then the barbecue jalapeno are almost one word. I mean, it's almost the way they combine together. Maybe it's because they're on the same side of the bun, on the same side of the patty, but the way they combine together, it's like teamwork makes the dream work. So highly recommend. Brody, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me on, Brian.
Always. We'll see y'all on Monday.